Hi, beautiful people. Hope that you have an amazing day today. I'm not going to be here with you long. I'm going to talk about Donald Trump, and then we have a little Tyler Robinson news as the preliminary hearings are underway. Okay, everything I share is for educational purposes, and I'm going to get right into the video. Donald Trump is in Turkey
Katmıştır.
for NATO.
Kendilerine hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Yeah.
Here on the occasion of the NATO summit, I would like to welcome my valuable friend, Mr. President Trump, who has participated here today with us and added strength to the summit that we are convening for.
Kendilerine tekrar hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Once again, I would like to say welcome, Mr. President.
Well, I want to thank you very much. As everybody knows,
Sizlere
it's
çok
been
teşekkür etmek istiyorum.
very much
Herkesin de
reported.
bildiği gibi
we are
gerçekten
great friends.
bu da
The
çok
president
fazla
has done
haber
an
yapıldı. Bizler
incredible
çok
job.
iyi
Just
dostuz. Sayın
landing
Cumhurbaşkanı
at the
çok iyi
airport,
bir
you
iş
see such a beautiful
yaptı.
airport,
Havaalanına
and to have
geldim.
a
Havaalanı gerçekten çok
building
güzel bir
named after me,
havaalanı.
I'm very
Hatta
happy
benim
about that. It's very
ismimle
nice.
hazırlanan
The
da bir bina vardı
airport is
ve binadan
absolutely
çok memnun kaldım. Havaalanı
beautiful. The roads
gerçekten çok
coming in
güzel.
were
Buraya
brand new
gelen
and
yollar
beautiful,
tamamen yepyeni, çok
He's been a
güzel
great leader
yollar.
and a
Çok iyi
respected
bir
leader all over the
lidersiniz.
world.
Çok tüm dünyada saygı
And we
gören bir
really do.
lidersiniz.
We've
Ve
had right from the
gerçekten de
beginning good
en
chemistry.
başından bu
We've had
yana
a very
çok iyi bir
special
kimyamız vardı. Çok
relationship.
özel bir
Turkey
ilişkimiz
has
oldu.
become under
Türkiye,
the president a very
Cumhurbaşkanı'nın
powerful
liderliği
country
altında
militarily.
çok güçlü bir ülke oldu. Askeri olarak insanlar bunu biliyor. Aslında insanlar ne kadar güçlü olduğunu bilmiyorlar. Bizim çok fazla ekipmanları var, çok iyi askerleri var ve gerçekten
somebody to be reckoned with.
mutlaka dikkate alınması gereken bir ülke. Bunun da en güzel kısmı şu ki aramızdaki iyi ilişki sayesinde şimdiye kadar her şey çok iyi gitti. Sadece şunu söylemek istiyorum. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı'na çok büyük saygım var ve bence bu her iki ülkenin de faydasına olacak. Bugün ticaretten bahsediyor olacağız. Diğer birçok şey konuşuyor olacağız. Yine silahlı kuvvetlerle ilgili olarak da birçok farklı konuyu konuşacağız. Muhtemelen İran konusunu konuşacağız. Aslında orada askeri tamamen yok ettik. Türk nükleerleri artık olmayacak ama Türkiye ile birçok güzel ilişkilerimiz var. Onlar harika şeyler yapıyorlar. Bizler de harika şeyler yapıyoruz. Ve her iki ülkemiz üzerinde de çok büyük bir etkisi oluyor. Sizlere sadece şunu söylemek isterim. Sizlerle olmak benim için büyük bir onur. Ve birçok güzel toplantı yapacağız. Çok güzel akşam yemekleri yiyeceğiz. Çok güzel yemekler yiyeceğiz. Çok güzel vakit geçireceğiz ama en önemlisi çok güzel işler yapacağız ve ülkelerimiz için çok iyi şeyler yapacağız. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı çok teşekkürler.
Çok teşekkür ederim efendim. Çok uzun süren bir dostluğumuz var biliyorsunuz. Son derece saygı duyduğum, yakın bulduğum bir insansınız. Buradaki buluşmalarımızda, görüşmelerimizin 3 konudan bahsedeceğiz. Askeri, ticari ve bir de İran konusundan bahsedeceğiz. Gerçekten çok güçlüsünüz. Çok güçlü askeri ve silah sanayi açısından çok güçlü bir yerdesiniz şu anda. Dolayısıyla teşekkür ediyorum ve çok iyi bir vakit geçirdiğinize inanıyorum.
Thank you.
Very much.
Okay.
Mr. President, are you going to sell F-35s to Turkey, and what about the legal restrictions?
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good
F-35'lerle
relationship.
ilgili
I would
olarak
think
Türkiye
that
nezdinde bir
many
karar
people,
verdiniz
I can
mi?
tell
Evet, bu
you, many
almamız
people,
gereken bir
including the
karar.
people
Tabii
sitting
ki birçok
right
kişiyi
here thinks,
ilgilendiriyor.
why wouldn't
Bu
we do that?
odada
We have a
bulunan
better relationship
kişileri de
with
dahil etmek üzere.
Turkey, and
Neden
Turkey's been in
olmasın
many
ki
ways much more
Türkiye ile
loyal
çok iyi
than
bir
other
ilişkimiz var
countries
ve
that we
Türkiye
think would be
başka
loyal.
ülkelere oranla çok daha sadık bir ülke olarak ilişkilerini sürdürüyor bizimle. Bunu tabii ki değerlendiririz. Çok güzel bir plan ve hali hazırda şu aşamaya kadar yapılan en iyi planlardan bir tanesi ve kesinlikle bizim de mutlaka değerlendireceğimiz bir şey. Evet Daniel buyur. Evet, neden bir ilişkinin özel olduğunu hiçbir zaman aslında tam olarak bilemezsiniz. Bazı kişilerle çok iyi geçinirsiniz, bazılarıyla o kadar iyi geçinemezsiniz. Bazen en zorlu kişilerle, Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı gibi çok iyi geçinirsiniz ama bazen çok patetik kişilerle bile geçinemezsiniz. Onlara saygı duymanız mümkün olmaz.
From the day we met,
Ben
we got along.
ilk
We had
tanıştığımız günden bu yana
a
çok
pastor,
iyi
so I remember
anlaştığımızı
his name was
düşünüyorum.
Pastor Brunson.
Bir rahip
And it was a very
Bronson
big thing.
olayı vardı biliyorsunuz.
And it
çok
was
büyük bir vakaydı
very
ve
traumatic. He was
çok da
sentenced to a
travmatik
long-term prison
bir
sentence.
olaydı.
And
Çok uzun
I
dönemli
felt he
bir
was
hapis
innocent.
cezasına
And I
çarptırılmıştı.
called,
Ben masum
the
olduğuna
people called, they
inandım.
got nowhere. I called
Ben
the
bazı
president
temaslar
and he
kurulduğu
released
bir
him
noktaya
immediately.
ulaşamadı. Ben
Something
aradığımda
that
Sayın
the
Cumhurbaşkanı onu
evangelical
hemen
community will never forget.
serbest bıraktı ve evangelik
He's a good man,
toplumunun hiçbir
Pastor
zaman
Brunson.
unutmayacağı bir şey.
You know, just
Rahip
things like
Bronson
that, we
ve
just have
gerçekten
always, it's
çok da
always
sevilen
worked
bir
out.
kişiydi.
Thank you, Claude, for the super sticker. I am awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. So are you.
Her zaman
And I
ilişkilerimiz
think it's
çok
been from
iyi
the very
devam
beginning,
etti.
from the first
Baştan
moment.
itibaren, ilk
I said
andan
it before,
itibaren, daha önce de belirttiğim
it's a
gibi
chemistry that
bu bir
works
kimya
between us.
meselesi ve
There are those that I
ikimiz
don't have a
arasında iyi
good
bir
chemistry
kimya
with,
var.
I will tell
İyi
you
bir
that.
kimya olmayan
we worked that out too.
liderler de var ama onlarla da ilişkilerimizi bir şekilde sürdürüyoruz.
Say it.
Are further troop
Tekrar eder
drawdowns in
misiniz?
Europe likely? And are you satisfied with the progress that NATO allies have
Well, we're
made?
going to see. I was very disappointed
Evet,
with NATO.
NATO beni
And
aslında çok
frankly,
büyük
if
hayal
it weren't
kırıklığına
held in
uğratmıştı
Turkey,
ve aslında Türkiye'de olmasaydı
happens to be a very
zirve
strong
ki
leader,
çok güçlü
a
bir
very
lider olan
strong,
dostum olmasaydı
person,
çok
it's
güçlü bir
possible that I
kişilik
wouldn't have attended.
bu durumda
I
belki de
felt I had to
katılmayabilirdim
attend
zirveye.
because of the fact
Ama ben
that, you know, I
katılmam
know he's gone
gerektiğini
all out.
düşündüm çünkü
It's a big
gerçekten
thing to have
çok
NATO come
önemli
to
bir
Turkey.
lider
We're
olduğunu
ready for
düşünüyorum.
ourselves. It's a
Türkiye'ye
big thing.
gelmek de çok önemli
But
bir
we
şey
weren't
bizim
treated
için.
well
Ama tabii
because
ki
we
daha
did
önce
something
bize
in
iyi
Iran.
davranılmadı.
We
Çünkü
don't need
İran'da
anybody's help.
bir operasyon
I didn't even want their
gerçekleştirdik.
help.
Kimsenin desteğine de ihtiyacımız
Before
yoktu.
I
Hatta
asked, they said
istemedim
they
bile
wouldn't
ama
be there. And
istemeden bile
we've invested trillions
tabii
of
ki
dollars
orada olmadıklarını ifade ettiler.
Why?
NATO'ya trilyonlarca
protect
dolar
European
katkıda
countries
bulunduk.
and
Neden? Avrupa ülkelerini korumak
others,
için
Canada,
ve başka
etc. But to
diğer
protect
ülkelerde tabii
people,
Kanada dahil
countries
biz o
from,
ülkelerin
generally speaking, it used to
halklarını
be the Soviet
koruduk
Union, now
ve
it's
daha
Russia.
önce Sovyetler Birliği
And
olan şu anda Rusya olan ülkelere
I say
karşı
that's
bu
fine,
ülkeleri koruduk.
but
Ben
you
de
would think
tamam
that they'd be
sorun değil
very
dedim
willing
ama
to
şöyle
do
düşünürdüm.
something to help us.
Gerçekten bize destek
And
olmak
they
için
really weren't.
çok
In the
istekli
case of the
olurlar diye düşündüm.
United Kingdom, the
Ama
Prime Minister,
öyle
I guess
olmadılar.
he's no
Birleşik
longer there.
Krallık açısından
Maybe because
bakıldığında
of this, it was a very
Başbakan
unpopular thing he did.
ki
He
hala
said,
görevde değil.
no, we'll help
Ee,
after the war is
Biz
over.
savaş bittikten
I said,
sonra
"I don't
size
need that kind of
yardımcı
help."
oluruz
We didn't
dedi.
need
Ben
any
dedim
help
ki
at
böyle
all.
bir
And in a
desteğe
way, I was
ihtiyacımız yok.
testing people. I was
Hiçbir
testing to
desteğe
see whether or
ihtiyacımız yok.
not
Aslında
they'd be
biraz
there because I've
test
long said
ediyordum.
that
Bizim yanımızda olup
we helped
olmayacaklarını
them, but
görmeye
I'm not sure
çalışıyordum.
that
Çünkü
they'd be there.
biz onlara
Italy
yardımcı
turned
olduk
us
ama
down.
o mesela İtalya da
Germany
bizi
turned us down,
reddetti.
and France
Almanya
turned us down.
bizi reddetti. Fransa
And it's
reddetti.
okay.
Ve sorun değil
You know,
bu.
why are we
Ama
spending
neden
hundreds of billions of
yüz
dollars
milyarlarca dolar
and they're not there for
harcıyoruz ve
us?
ondan
We've
sonra
always been
onlar
there for them.
sıra bize geldiğinde bize destek vermiyorlar. Biz onlara her zaman destek vermişken.
Türkiye ile Suriye arasında Türkiye'de efendim
İran'daki savaşın sona erdirilmesi için oldukça çaba sarf ettiniz. Müzakere süreci devam ediyor ancak nihai bir anlaşma noktasına gelinmiş değil. Bundan sonraki süreçte Türkiye nasıl adım atacak İran ve ABD arasındaki müzakere sürecinin olumlu bir şekilde neticelenmesi için?
Bu süreçte yine aynı şekilde bizler İran-Amerika ilişkilerini nasıl bir düzleme kavuştururuz? Onun gayreti içerisindeyiz. Elimizden geleni yapmak suretiyle dünya barışına bir adım atalım diye gerek şahsım, gerek arkadaşlarım hep birlikte çalışacağız.
Ben sizlere 80 bine yakın insan hayatını kaybetti Gazze'de. Çok büyük bir yıkım var. Ateşkes sağlandı ama yer yerde ihlaller devam ediyor. Ateşkes ihlallerinin önlenmesi için, insani yardımların Gazze'ye girebilmesi için, ayrıca Gazze'nin yeniden inşa edilebilmesi için önümüzdeki süreçte ortak atabileceğiniz adımları değerlendirecek misiniz muhatabınızla? Müsaade buyururlarsa kendisinin de bu konudaki fikirlerini almak isteriz. Teşekkür ederiz efendim.
Özellikle Gazze konusunda tabii değerli dostumla bunları da konuşarak özellikle bu bölgedeki barışı sağlama için bu liderler zirvesini çok önemsiyoruz ve bu liderler zirvesinden aynı şekilde bir kararın çıkmasını da hayra yorumluyoruz ve bunun olabileceğine de ben ihtimal veriyorum.
Efendim, Türkiye-ABD ilişkilerinin geliştiği bir dönemi gözlemliyoruz. 2025 yılında, geçen yıl Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'ne yaptığınız ziyarette önemli ticari anlaşmalar da imzalandı. Suriye konusunda Türkiye'nin önemli bir aktör olduğunu söylemişti Sayın ABD Başkanı. Şimdi yeni dönemde gelmeden önce de Sayın Trump bir sürprizle geliyorum ifadesini kullandı. F-35'i, Kaan savaş uçaklarının motorlarını konuştuk. Acaba gündeme gelebilir mi şeklinde. Siz bu sürprizin ne olduğunu düşünüyorsunuz? Türkiye bugünkü görüşmelerden sonra istediğini alabilecek mi? Teşekkür ederim.
Tabii F-35 konusu biliyorsunuz bizim için yeni bir konu değil. Ve bunu bizler Amerika ile daha önce de görüştük. Ve biz 5 uçağı da sözünü aldık. Ve Sayın Trump'ın bu konuda bize ayrıca sözü var. Ve şimdi de bu liderler zirvesinde yapacağımız görüşmelerde F-35 ile ilgili kendilerinden bu daha önce aldığımız sözün ben geleceğe yönelik olumlu şekilde test ettiğimizi biliyorum ve bu konuda da Sayın Trump her zaman sözünün arkasındadır. Burada yine inşallah F-35 konusunda bu liderler zirvesinden hayırlı bir karar çıkacağına inanıyorum.
What does that mean?
Ne demek istediniz?
Third party? What is the
Üçüncü
third?
taraf.
With
Üçüncü
respect to
taraf
what?
neyle ilgili üçüncü taraf?
I have no concerns at all about
Benim
anything. I mean,
hiçbir
he's
konuda hiçbir endişem yok.
a leader of a
Çünkü
country that he's made a much
kendisi bir
better
ülkenin bir
country, much
lideri
more
ki çok
powerful
daha iyi bir
country.
ülke
and
haline getirdi.
you
Çok
see
daha
it.
güçlü
I
bir
mean, it's
ülke
beautiful.
haline
You get off
getirdi.
the roads
Görüyorsunuz
of
zaten
it.
çok
It's
güzel
an
yollara
amazing thing.
bakıyorsunuz. Harika
No, I have
işler
no concerns
yapılmış.
about
Benim
anything having to do with
hiçbir
Turkey. The
şeyle ilgili
relationship,
Türkiye konusunda bir
I would say
endişem
the
yok.
relationship with
İlişkilerimizle
Turkey
ilgili
right
olarak
now
Türkiye
is
ile
better probably
ilişkilerimiz şu
than it's
anda
ever been. It was good in
belki
my
şimdiye
first
kadar
4 years, but
olduğundan çok daha iyi.
I think
İlk
now it's
4 yılında
probably
da
even better
iyiydi
than
ama
that, if
şu
that's
anda
possible.
o zamandan daha da iyi olması bile mümkün diyebilirim.
Sir, U.S. military and Turkish military constitute a really strong and large military base for NATO. Are we expecting further defense cooperation out of this bilateral meeting, out of this NATO summit here in Ankara?
Well, we're going to find out when I go there. We're
Oraya
gonna find out.
gittiğimde
We're gonna be
göreceğiz. Oraya
having meetings.
gittiğimde
I'm very
göreceğiz.
friendly with many
Toplantılar
of the
yapacağız
leaders.
ve liderlerin
Some
çoğuyla
of them
çok
are new. We don't
dostane
know them.
ilişkilerim var.
But I've been
Bazıları
doing this for
yeni,
now
onları tanımıyorum ama
sort of a
bu
long
işi bir
time.
süredir yapıyorum. Uzun
If
zamandır.
you count the 4 years where we had a
Özellikle
rigged
de 4
election,
yılı
you
da
know, it was
sayacak
very much into
olursanız
politics
oradaki
then too.
hileli seçimleri de
But I spent the
sayacak
first 4
olursanız
years, I spent
ki
4
siyaseti
years
eminim
in
takip ediyorsunuzdur.
little different
4
state.
yılımı
And then we had
bu şekilde
we've had an
harcadım
amazing,
ve
probably
harika,
the best year maybe ever
muhtemelen en iyi
had by an
şimdiye
American
kadar
president.
bir
When you
Amerikan
look at the
başkanının
economy, we have
sahip olduğu
the
en iyi
greatest
dönemi
economy
yaşadık.
we've ever
Ekonomiye
had. We have
bakacak olursanız şimdiye kadarki
19
en iyi
trillion
ekonomimiz
dollars,
oldu.
19.2 trillion dollars to be
19.2
exact,
trilyon dolar
being
aslında
invested in
tam
the
olarak
United
ifade edecek
States. That's
olursak ABD'ye
7 or
yatırım
8 times
yapıldı.
more than
Bu
it's ever had. It's a
şimdiye
world record.
kadarki
not just the US
yapılan
record.
yatırımdan 7-8 kat daha
And I
fazla.
just
Sadece
read, in
ABD'de
fact, coming over, I
de
was just
aslında en iyi
I
rakam
was
değil,
in the car with
dünyadaki en
those
iyi
beautiful
rakam
horses, those
ki
great
bu çok
riders,
güzel
those
buraya
great
gelirken
soldiers.
de atları gördüm, çok güzel
It
at
came over the
binicilerini gördüm,
wires that
çok güzel
Toyota is
askerleri
moving out of
gördüm ve
Mexico
Toyota
into
Meksika'dan
the
da
United
artık
States and
çıkıyor,
building one of the
Amerika'ya
biggest
taşınıyor ve
truck.
şimdiye
That's
kadarki
amazing.
araç
That's
ve
what tariffs
kamyon
do,
üretim
properly
tesisini
used. And
üretecek. Bu
so
gerçekten
we've never
harika
had
bir gelişme.
a
Şimdiye
more
kadar
exceptional
hiç daha
economy or
istisnai
potential
bir
economy.
ekonomi
There's
veya
never been
potansiyel
anything like
ekonomiye
it.
sahip olmadık.
Under the
Şimdiye kadar
last
hiç böyle bir
administration,
ekonomi
they did
olmadı.
much less
Son yönetim
than $1 trillion of
de
Actually, the first 12 months, because
%19.2
that's where
trilyon
it's,
ilk
really,
aslında
so
12 ayda
they were a year and a half, so
elde
that
edildi. Yani
number is now
1,5 yıl
substantially
içerisinde
higher.
şimdi
But
bu rakam çok daha kayda değer
19.2
nitelikte yüksek
trillion,
ama
Scott,
19.2
for a
trilyon
period of 12 months, nobody's
12
ever
aylık
seen
bir
anything like
dönemde
that. So
alındı. Kimse
we
şimdiye
have by
kadar böyle
far
bir
the
şey
greatest
görmedi.
economy.
Dolayısıyla
We
açık
have
arayla en iyi
more jobs right
ekonomiyiz.
now in the United
Şu anda
States than ever
Amerika'da
before.
şimdiye
And we have a great
kadarkinden
relationship
çok daha
with some
fazla istihdam
countries on trade,
yaratıldı
and
ve
Turkey
ticaretle
happens to
ilgili
be one
olarak
of them.
ülkelerle harika ilişkilerimiz var. Türkiye'de bunlardan bir tanesi.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, siz her fırsatta dünya 5'ten büyüktür, daha adil bir dünya mümkündür diyorsunuz. Bugün konuğumuz Sayın Trump, ABD Başkanı, onun da zaman zaman küresel sistemin mevcut durumuna ilişkin eleştirilerini biliyoruz. NATO'nun iki en büyük askeri gücü olarak bu noktada, bu eleştiriler doğrultusunda ortak bir adım, ortak bir girişimde bulunması önümüzdeki süreçte söz konusu olabilir mi?
NATO'da iki önemli ülke olarak gerek Amerika gerekse Türkiye, bizler bu liderler zirvesinden de dayanışma içerisinde güçlü bir çıkışı sağlayacağız ve bunu da başaracağımıza inanıyorum.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı 24 Mayıs Rusya-Ukrayna savaşının başından bu yana arabuluculuk tesis ettiğiniz, iki ülkenin Dışişleri Bakanlarını Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda bir araya getirdiniz. İstanbul'da çok önemli müzakereler yürüttünüz. Bu zirve kapsamında da Sayın Trump'ın Sayın Zelenski ile görüşeceğini biliyoruz. Nihai aşama olarak hangi noktadayız? Savaşın sonlanması konusundaki gidişata ilişkin değerlendirmeniz nedir? Teşekkürler.
Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda Dışişleri Bakanlarımız bir araya geldiler. İstanbul müzakere sürecini de
Is that for me?
burada.
Are you asking me or are you asking the president?
Soruyu bana mı sordunuz yoksa Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı'na mı
The
sordunuz?
president, yes.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı, buyurun.
Biz Rusya-Ukrayna arasındaki bu gelişmeleri de yine değerli dostumla burada paylaşacağız, görüşeceğiz ve ona göre de adımlarımızı atacağız.
Televizyon kanalından Hatice Kübra Bal, benim sorum da aslında az önce biraz yanıtladınız ama Türkiye'nin 5. nesil uçağı Kaan motorları için F-110 motorlarından söz edeceğiz. Aynı zamanda kassa yaptırımları ve bu bağlamda da F-35 alımı ile ilgili aslında bu görüşmeden bir somut sonuç bekleyebilir miyiz? Onu merak ediyorum.
Ben bunu daha önce değerli dostumla görüştüm ve Kaan'la ilgili onun motorları noktasında bu liderler zirvesinde bu görüşmeyi değerli dostumla tekrar bir araya geldik. Onu görüşeceğiz ve inanıyorum ki bununla ilgili bize verdiği müjdeyi burada da tekrar edecektir ve bu müjdeyle de herhalde liderler zirvesinde kendisine teşekkür edeceğiz.
You know, I might add that
Şöyle
Turkey
ekleyebilirim.
bought planes. It's the
Türkiye
best
uçak satın aldı
plane.
ve gerçekten
But they
en
bought
iyi
planes
uçak.
from the United
Ama
States.
Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nden
And
uçak satın
when you buy a
aldılar
plane from
ve
the
bir
United
uçak satın
States, if
aldığınızda Amerika Birleşik
there's
Devletleri'nden
engine
bir
rehab and other things that are
motoru
done to engines, there's
yenileme gibi
various
veya
things that
motorla
happen,
ilgili yapılan
including
çeşitli
just maintenance.
çalışmalar var.
I think we
Sadece
have an
bakımı bile
obligation to
dahil olmak
maintain
üzere bence
engines and help them maintain
motorların
engines.
bakımını sağlama,
When you buy a
motorların
plane from
bakımının
us, what
devam
are we gonna say?
ettirilmesi
You
konusunda
buy a plane,
yükümlülüklerimiz var. Yani bir uçak
if
satın
the engine needs
aldığınızda
work or if the
eğer
engine
motorla ilgili bir çalışma
has to
yapılması
be
gerekiyorsa veya
rehabilitated or
motorun
even
yeniden
upgraded
düzenlenmesi
somewhat,
veya bazen güncellenmesi,
I think we have an
yükseltilmesi
obligation to do that. What are you
gerekiyorsa
gonna
bunu
do?
da
Say, I'm
yapma
not gonna
konusunda
do
bir
that?
yükümlülüğümüz
Look,
var. Ne yapacaksınız?
Turkey's been, I
Yapmıyorum mu
know, you know, a
diyeceksiniz?
lot of people
Yani ben birçok kişinin
don't agree, although I think with
bu
time
konuda
they're starting to.
katılmadığını biliyorum ama
Turkey has been a great ally for us.
Türkiye bizim için
Turkey's
gerçekten
been-
çok harika bir
Turkey could have
müttefik
gone on the
oldu.
side. They know
Türkiye
Iran very well,
İran'ı çok iyi
and they
tanıyor.
know the problems with Iran.
Sorunları,
they've
İran'daki
been
sorunları
very
da çok iyi
instrumental along
biliyorlar
with
ama
a
gerçekten
couple of other countries
diğer
of
birçok
helping.
birkaç tane
They could have
ülkeyle
gotten
birlikte de
into the
yardımcı olma
fight.
konusunda çok
You know, here's
yardımcı
some
oldular.
people
Mücadeleye de
saying about
katılabilirlerdi.
their
Bazı
relationship with
insanlar
Israel. They
İsrail
could
ile
have gotten into
ilişkilerinden
the fight.
bahsediyorlar. Mücadeleye
They're
onlar
a
da
very powerful
katılabilirlerdi.
military
Gerçekten çok
nation.
güçlü bir
They
ülke,
didn't do that.
askeri
Maybe
anlamda
they
güçlü
didn't do
bir
that
ülke
because
ama
of
bunu
me.
yapmadılar. Belki bunu
But they could
benim
have gotten
yüzümden
into
yapmadılar.
the fight
Ama
on the other side.
diğer taraftan, yan
They are
taraftan
a
da aslında
nation that's been
mücadeleye
very, very
katılabilirlerdi.
good And I can
Türkiye
speak
ülke
for
olarak
myself
çok
as
çok iyi bir
president.
ülke oldu ve ben
They've
sadece
been extraordinary
başkan
in many
olarak
ways
kendi bakış açımdan bunu
with respect to
söyleyebilirim. Olağan
our
dışı bir ülke
relationship,
oldular birçok açıdan
including trying to end
ilişkilerimizle
the
ilgili
war with
olarak. Bunun
Iran
içerisinde
or whatever
İran'la
you call it. It's not
savaşın
even a
sona
war, it's a
erdirilmesi
military operation.
aslında sadece savaş
It's
da
a
değil, askeri harekat
denuclearization.
anlamında
That's really what
öyle
it
de
is of
diyebiliriz.
Iran
Aslında
because I don't think he
nükleersizleştirilmesi
wants to see
diyebiliriz
them have a
İran'la
nuclear
ilgili.
weapon either. I'm
Çünkü
pretty sure of
eminim
that.
ki Cumhurbaşkanı da orada
I'm totally
nükleer
sure of
silahların
that.
olmasını istemezdir.
So,
Aslında tamamen
when they buy
eminim
a
diyebilirim
product
bu
from us,
konuda.
whether it's a
Dolayısıyla
plane or
bizden bir
anything
ürün
else,
satın alındığında
when
ister
it's
uçak
time for
olsun ister
maintenance, I
başka
think
bir
we
şey
have, don't
olsun,
we have an
bakım
obligation
zamanı
to help them?
geldiğinde
What are we gonna
bence
do? We're not
yardımcı
gonna,
olma konusunda bir yükümlülüğümüz
we're not
var. Ne
gonna let you
yapacağız?
use the product that you
Ürünü
spent a lot of money in
kullanmanıza
buying.
izin vermeyeceğiz mi
And especially
diyeceğiz
when
satın
it's
almak
been
için bu kadar
somebody
para
that
harcamışken.
frankly has
Dolayısıyla
been
samimi
more
olmak
helpful
gerekirse
to the United States
Amerika
than
Birleşik
many other
Devletleri'ne
more
diğer
traditional.
birçok
I do. I had a very good
Evet.
talk with President
Gerçekten
Putin, who by the way has a lot of respect for
Başkan Putin'le gerçekten
President
iyi bir
Erdogan.
görüşme
A lot of
gerçekleştirdim.
respect for
Kendisinin de
we
kendisinin
had
de
a
Sayın
long talk
Cumhurbaşkanı
yesterday, lasted a
Erdoğan'a
long
çok büyük
time,
saygısı
and
var.
I also spoke with
Uzun
President Zelensky right
bir
after that.
süre önce
I
de
think they
tekrar
both want to
görüşmüştük.
make a deal.
Başkan
It's too bad it
Zelenski
took
ile
so
de
long.
görüştüm.
there's gonna
Aslında
be
bence
something's
anlaşmaya
gonna
varmak
come out,
istiyorlar.
and
Bu kadar uzun
the president's
sürmesi
also helping
kötü
us with
oldu.
that. But I think
Ama
there's
tabii
something.
ki
I
bu
settled 8
anlamda
wars, and I think we're going to be settling a ninth. It
8.
doesn't seem likely
savaşı
now, but
sonlandırdık.
sometimes
Sanırım
when
9.'yu
with war I see
sonlandıracağız. Zaman
when it's
zaman
least
savaş
likely
dediğiniz
that's when it
zaman
happens.
belki de en
I had a very good
beklemediğiniz
talk with
zaman
President
sona
Putin. I had a very
erebilir.
good talk with. I
Putin'le
would
çok
say it's
güzel
a
bir görüşme
combination. A
yaptım.
lot of times I
Ve
do
yine
well with
aslında
Putin, and
zaman zaman
Zelensky would
şöyle
be a
diyeyim,
problem, or vice versa.
sıklıkla Putin'le iyi
Zelensky would be
anlaşıyorum
great,
ya da Zelenski ile
and Putin would be.
anlaşamıyorum.
They
Ya da
both
bunun
want
tam
to get it
tersi oluyor.
settled.
Ama her ikisi de şu
More
anda
than that, that's
aslında
all I do in
bir
my life
anlaşmaya
is
varmak
deals.
istiyorlar. Benim
No
hayatta
deals.
yaptığım tek şey zaten
And
böyle
I
anlaşmalara
think
varmak.
they are going to. I think we're
Ve
going to get it
bu
settled.
anlamda sanırım
Hopefully
yakın bir
soon.
zamanda kısa bir süre
Last month,
içerisinde bunu
35,000
sonlandıracağız.
mostly
Geçtiğimiz ay
soldiers died.
35
The
bin
month
birçoğu
before
asker
that,
olmak üzere
it was
hayatını kaybetti.
24,000. The
Ondan
month
önceki ay
before that, it was
44 bindi.
27,000.
Ondan önce
And the
27
month before
bindi.
that, it was
Yine
29,000.
tabii ki ondan önce 29
Last
bindi.
month, it was
Geçtiğimiz ay
35,000
ise
young
35
soldiers,
bin
mostly
genç
soldiers
asker,
died.
çoğunluğu da asker
And that's
olmak üzere kişi
crazy.
hayatını kaybetti ve bu çılgınca.
İşbirliklerinden bahsediyoruz ancak savunma sanayi işbirliğimizi sürdürebilmemiz için Amerika'nın katsayı yaptırımlarını da kaldırmış olması gerekiyor. Sayın Büyükelçi Barak burada kendisinin bu konuda aslında mesajları da oldu geçtiğimiz aylarda. Sayın Başkan'ın da bu konuda olumlu düşündüğünü biliyoruz. Hem ticaret hacmi hedefine ulaşmak hem de NATO zirvesinde burada Sayın Trump gelmeden önce de açıkladılar. Aslında Türkiye'nin hattıyla zirveye katıldığını da açıkladılar ama aynı zamanda katsayı yaptırımlarının Türkiye'ye uygulanıyor olmasının bir tezat olduğu düşünülüyor. Bu noktada, bu görüşmede artık somut bir netice alınabilir mi? Ayrıca siz bunu gündeme taşıyacaksınızdır muhtemelen. Sayın Başkanım da bu konudaki düşüncelerini alabilirsem mutlu olurum. Teşekkür ediyorum.
I can tell you, we're going to be taking the sanctions off.
Evet şöyle söyleyeyim evet bu
Okay.
müeydeler
I don't want him to waste his
kaldırılacaklar.
time answering that
Zaman
question
harcamak
because
istemiyorum bu soruyu
we're working
cevaplamak
very
için.
closely
Zaten
with
çok yakinen
Marco
çalışıyoruz ve
Rubio, very famous
Marco
man,
Rubio ile çok ünlü bir
great
kişi
Secretary of
biliyorsunuz.
State, and with
Çok iyi
Scott
bir
Bessent
Dışişleri Bakanı
and
Scott
with Pete
Bessent'le
and everybody else.
birlikte Pete
We're going to
ve
be
tüm
taking the
meslektaşlarımla
sanctions off.
birlikte
It's time.
artık bu
to do that.
müeydeleri kaldıracağız. Zamanı geldi.
Okay? We don't want to sanction friends. It's very
Evet
simple.
dostlarımıza bu tür
There's plenty of
yaptırımları
people we
uygulamak
can
istemiyoruz.
sanction, and we
Çok
are
basit.
sanctioned.
Zaten
We don't want a
yaptırım uygulamak. Cumhurbaşkanı
relationship with
için bunu
new
ifade
leader of
edebilirim.
Syria, and he's done
Suriye'nin
an
yeni
amazing job.
lideriyle de
In a year and a
gerçekten
half,
iyi bir
he's pulled
ilişkimiz
the whole
var.
country
1,5 yılda
together.
gerçekten bütün
And I have
ülkeyi
a very great
topladı
relationship
ve
with
çok iyi
him.
bir iş
And somebody
çıkardı.
said, well, it's
Onlarla da
pretty
çok
rough
iyi bir
to
iş
put him
çıkardım.
there. I approved him along
Bazı
with the
kişiler
president.
ama
We
biraz
were the two
sert
that really
dediler.
wanted him.
Evet Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı ile
And he's done
birlikte
a great job.
gerçekten orada
He's done
da
a
çok
great job.
çalıştık ve
He's
çok iyi
pulled
bir
it
iş
together.
çıkardı. Her
Not an
şeyi bir
easy
araya
job.
getirdi ki kolay değildi işi.
Post yesterday with respect to Prime Minister Maloney, that True Social post with the restraining order.
Oh, I don't know. I think she's a nice person.
Evet bence
We've had a good,
Sayın
we had
Meloni
a
iyi
bad
bir kişi.
relationship. It became a little bad because
Biraz
she refused
ilişkimiz
to help us.
kötüleşti çünkü
Again, I
bize
didn't put a heavy
destek
press on
vermek
but she
istemedi.
refused to get
Ama
involved with
yine de bu sürece
Hormuz Strait.
katılmak
Or
istemedi. Hürmüz
you could also say
Boğazı'nda
just
dahil
Iran.
olmak
She
istemedi.
refused to get involved.
Yani ya da sadece İran
So
diyebiliriz.
it soured
İran
my
konusuna
relationship
girmek istemedi. Kendisiyle ilişkimizi biraz bu sıkıntıya soktu ama iyi bir kişi olduğunu düşünüyorum. Ama bence bir hata yaptı. Zaten biz oradan mesela petrol almıyoruz. Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nin dünyada herkesten daha fazla petrolü var. Buna Venezuela'da eklendiğinde dünyada çok petrol kaynağı olan bir ülkeyiz. Bizim buna ihtiyacımız yok. Onların aslında ihtiyacı var. Ama bizi orada desteklemedi, yanımızda olmadı ve tabii ki ben de bundan çok memnun olmadım, tahmin edersiniz.
Why do you think that? What conditions have changed? Did Putin seem
About with what?
Russia-Ukraine? Did Putin seem open to any concessions that he
Never
had?
changed. I just don't want them killing people.
Hiç
You know, it doesn't affect the
İnsan
United
öldürmelerini
States.
istemiyorum. Bu Amerika Birleşik
When Biden
Devletleri'ni de
was here, he
etkilemiyor.
gave them
Biden buraya
hundreds of billions of
geldiğinde
dollars
onlara
worth
yüz
of
milyarlarca
Now I sell the
dolarlık
equipment for,
ekipman verdi.
fair price,
Ben şimdi
full
bunları
price.
satıyorum, hibe
And I sell
etmiyorum
it not to
bu,
Ukraine, I sell it to
bu
the
tür
European Union. They pay us.
mühimmat veya silahlı
But with me,
araçlara.
it's not
Avrupa
anything to
Birliği
do
tabii
other
ki
than
bize
I'd like
bununla
to
ilgili
save
ödemeler
lives.
yapıyor ama ben hayat kurtarmak
25,
istiyorum.
30,
25,
one
35,
time it hit
30
41,000 a
bir
month.
kere ayda 41 bine
souls.
ulaştı.
They're dead.
41 bin hayat
They leave their mother in
kaybedildi
Ukraine, they
ve
leave their mother and
Ukrayna'da
father in Russia,
anneleri
Ukraine.
var,
They wave
Rusya'da anneleri
goodbye.
babaları var.
And a week
Bu
later they're
askerleri
dead.
el sallayarak gönderiyorlar. Bir
It's
hafta
crazy.
sonra hayatlarını kaybediyor.
And
Bu
I would like
tamamen
to see, it doesn't
çılgınca
affect
ve
us.
bunu
It's
söylemek
really,
istiyorum. Bu
you know,
bizi
it's
etkileyen
far
bir şey
away.
değil. Gerçekten
It affects
uzaktayız. Avrupa'yı
Much more.
etkileyen
We're
bir
there to
durum.
help Europe.
Ama tabii
But
ki biz
it
orada
doesn't affect the
Avrupa'ya
United States.
destek
We have an
vermek
ocean
için
in between.
bulunuyoruz ama
But
burada tabii ki
you know,
bir nosyon geliştirmek
just-
lazım. Bir
I can't
okyanus
stand
var
watching
bizim
what's
aramızda
happening.
ama burada
I've
olup
seen the
biteni
pictures of those
izleyemem.
battlefields.
Bu savaş
And it's a
meydanlarının
drone war.
fotoğraflarını
It's a
gördüm. Bu
war
aslında
of
tamamen
drones. It's a whole new technology. And we're
dronların
actually the leader in drones
bu
now. We have the
tür
most
teknolojinin
sophisticated drones,
savaşı.
but
Biz de zaten en
people wouldn't
sofistike
believe how
dronları üreten ülkeyiz.
violent it is.
Ama
And I've seen the battlefields.
insanlar
They send me
bunun ne
pictures.
kadar
I actually wanna
şiddet
say,
içerebileceğini
don't
tahmin
send
bile
them to me.
etmiyorlar.
Pete,
Bana bir
this man
fotoğraf
right here
gönderdiler.
sends me pictures.
Bana göndermeyin artık bu
Pete
fotoğrafları
Hexet.
dedim. Pete
And I said,
göndermişti.
Pete, you know
Ve
what?
dedim ki
Doesn't
kendisine
help to look.
hiçbir
I've never
şekilde
seen
bakmak
anything like it.
yardımcı
It's
olmuyor. Hiç böyle
carnage.
bir şey görmedim.
And it
Tamamen
should stop.
yıkım ve kıyım. Ve bu kıyımın durması gerekiyor.
Open to any concessions to end the war? Did Putin seem open to any concessions to end the war in your coalition?
I get along very well with both, and we're
Evet,
going
her
to get it
ikisiyle
settled.
de çok iyi
And
anlaşıyorum ve
President
buna
Erdogan's
bir
helping us get
şekilde
it settled.
ulaşacağımıza
As he's
inanıyorum ve
helping with
Cumhurbaşkanı
Iran.
Erdoğan İran'da da olduğu gibi bize bu konuda da yardımcı oluyor, destek veriyor ve bu sorunu en kısa zamanda çözeceğiz.
With respect to what? Well, that's what hurt my relationship
Evet,
with
aslında benim ilişkimi, NATO ile
Because
ilişkimi
Greenland doesn't help
etkileyen buydu.
Denmark.
Çünkü Grönland hiçbir şekilde
Denmark
Danimarka'ya
doesn't spend
yardımcı olmuyor.
money to really help Greenland.
Danimarka
But
Grönland'a
it's an important
bir
part of the
harcamada
United States.
bulunmuyor.
And it's
Ama
surrounded
Amerika
by
Birleşik
China
Devletleri'nin
ships
önemli bir parçası
and
ve
Russian
Çin
ships.
ve
And that's
Rus
not gonna happen.
gemileri
The ships
etrafında
is-
dolaşıyor
it's
ve
not gonna happen.
bu olabilecek
It was
olan
Greenland that, in my,
tehditler
and
de
it
var.
continues to be.
Evet, Grönland aslında
That should
burada
be controlled by the
benim
United States,
aklımda olan
not
bir
by
şey.
Denmark.
Mutlaka
And
Danimarka
when they
değil,
wouldn't go
Amerika
along
Birleşik
with
Devletleri
it, and with
tarafından
all the
kontrol
money we
edilmesi
spend to
lazım.
help them with
Bütün
Russia,
harcamalarımız,
We don't have to
Rusya'ya
spend
karşı
any money.
yaptığımız
we could remove
yardımları
all of our
düşündüğümüzde biz
soldiers
hiç
out of Europe.
para harcamak zorunda
Because as you
değiliz.
probably
Avrupa'dan bütün
noticed, Europe's a
askerlerimizi de
very different
çekebiliriz. Çünkü
place
Avrupa
than it was
bildiğiniz
20
gibi
years ago.
20 yıl
Lot
öncesine
different,
oranla çok
much different.
farklı bir yer.
Much
Sadece
different, and they
farklı
better
değil,
be
çok
careful
çok farklı.
with
Ve bu
immigration
anlamda çok
and
dikkatli
energy.
olmaları gerekiyor.
If they're
Göç
not
ve enerji
careful with those two
konularında.
things,
Eğer bu iki
you're not gonna
konuya
have a Europe
dikkat
anymore.
etmezlerse artık Avrupa
Okay,
bile
thank you very
kalmayacak.
much. everybody.
Evet, çok teşekkürler hepinize bir kez daha.
Değerli arkadaşlar,
Jeez, one thing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Harika gerçekten. İnanılmaz bir şey yani.
That was a lot. I mean, I always enjoy Donald Trump. Let's get to some Tyler Robinson news. It was a lot, but you know, they needed an interpreter. Let's see, where are we going? Live to Survive. I like a channel. I do. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with what's happening here with the preliminary hearings, but I got you.
We've seen still video, photos of still video that they took from Tyler Robinson on that day before. We've seen it on the news, but this is the first time we've actually seen the video footage. We see his actual movements. We see the fact that he showed up on campus.
I'm sorry.
He came back to campus. There was another outfit on. You see him getting off of that roof. I mean, we have seen these still photos of that, but we've not seen his actual movements. We see the way he was walking with that, what seems to be something in his pants, which I would suggest is most likely a rifle. I think that's a very, fair conclusion to make. So I think watching that today not only showed the amount of time it takes to drive in, to leave, to come back, to get out of your car, to know that you have this gun with you, to get up onto that roof, to get off that roof. It's very chilling. It's jarring to think about what was going through his mind at the time. And when you think about that at the same time, you're thinking about everything that's happening on that campus and all of these students converging to listen to somebody that they admired and wanted to hear speak and wanted to engage in discourse with, and then to know what happened after that. I can imagine, and I'm sure that Erica Kirk is much more disturbed even today than she was yesterday.
Yeah, Bill, preliminary hearings are called prima facie hearings. You're basically trying to assess the evidence. There's no jury here, so it's just the judge making a determination whether or not the state has presented enough evidence, and it's a very low standard in a preliminary hearing to move this to trial. Spoiler alert, this is definitely going to go to trial. There is a veritable mountain of evidence here, and I think the next couple of days you're going to see more state witnesses. They have 4 SBI agents, and they had 1 university campus police officer yesterday. And then the last is going to be what we call an 1102 statement from Lance Twiggs, who was the romantic interest and the roommate of Tyler Robinson. This is going to be an explosive couple of days just with the amount of evidence that's going to be put forward and the type of evidence. The state is going to also have an opportunity to cross-examine 3 witnesses that the defense is going to put on. They are all from out of state, and they all are DNA or biological experts, so they'll be weighing in on that. The cross-examination is where the interesting part is going to be this week.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait or what?
Limp.
Okay. Now what do we see?
So it's Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
And again, we're able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were able to.
Okay. So when he leaves the parking structure, where does he go?
He comes up around Campus Drive. As you can see on the video here, there is a cut through there north of the Losi building, and that's Mr. Robinson coming up the sidewalk. He has the noticeable gait or limp in his walk. And then he moves south across the front of the Losi building.
On the sidewalk?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
He would be the rear of the 2 individuals in this particular video.
Right. So right now, if you were to break this picture into quadrants, where would he be?
He'd be in the top left quadrant, walking to the left of the image.
Now what do we see?
This is an image looking across the parking lot to the Losi building, and Mr. Robinson is appearing on the exterior staircase, which gives access to the Losi building roof and the area where the railing was.
And again, let's break that image into quadrants. Where would he be located if you broke it into quadrants?
It's in the top right, and the individual can be seen moving under the notations that are on the video.
Okay. And what time is this?
It's just afternoon, about 12:15.
On what day?
On September 10th, 2025.
Okay. What just happened, or what did we just see happen?
The individual actually kind of rolls over the railing onto the roof of the Losi building.
All right.
And again, in the top left corner, the individual is now seen running across the rooftop of the Losi building to what would be the southwest corner of the building, crouching down and then crawling to the corner of the building.
And this is at what time?
Around 12:23. I think the timestamp on the video is 12:22.
On the 10th.
On September 10th, yes, 2025.
So we're clear, this is the roof of the Losi building.
Correct.
Can you still see that individual?
Yes, you can, laying prone.
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I'm sorry?
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I do, yes.
And how long is he out there on the edge of the building?
Just until the reported shot was fired at 12:23 and 28. Individual then stands up and then moves across the building to the north.
Is that what we're seeing happening right now?
It is, yes. They move behind the atrium area on the rooftop to the northeast corner where the white triangle is.
Do you see Mr. Robinson now?
I do, yes. He's just arriving at the corner of the building, almost the top center of the image.
What are we seeing now?
Mr. Robinson lowering and jumping off of the roof of the Losi building onto the grass area, and then moving away towards Campus Drive. And he appears to be carrying some kind of an object in his hand at this time.
So he's approaching
Campus Drive.
And again, broken into quadrants. Where is he currently?
In the top right quadrant.
And the time?
It's 12:24 and 42 on the timestamp.
What do we see now?
He then crosses Campus Drive and drops down into the wooded area on the far side of Campus Drive.
And that is located in what part of the video? What quadrant?
It would have been just off center on the top left side.
What do we see now?
This is the intersection of Campus Drive and 800 South. There's a vehicle attempting to turn right onto Campus Drive. That's the vehicle that's driven by Mr. Robinson.
And on the screen, where is that vehicle that you're referring to located? If you broke it into quadrants.
It's on the left side, on the upper side, the upper quadrant.
Now, what do we see?
And that vehicle's now pulling away and heading east on 800 South.
And why do you believe that vehicle is Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
When that vehicle was stopped, it actually made contact with an officer who was doing security detail.
And do you know who that officer is?
Officer Goforth.
Okay. And do you know which department he works for?
Spanish Fort Police.
And did you have a conversation with Mr. Goforth regarding this interaction at that intersection?
I did, yes.
Okay. And what time was that interaction? I'm sorry. Did I ask you that?
It was approximately 12:30 a.m.
Okay. On the 11th?
On September 11th, 2025.
So you talked to Officer Goforth about that contact on the corner on that, during the early morning hours of the 11th.
Correct.
And what did Officer Goforth tell you about that interaction?
It was an interaction that I guess cop intuition, but there was something about the interaction that made him make a note of the license plate of the vehicle. And then subsequently, when information was available that vehicle or a vehicle matching the description of that was involved in the incident, he ran the information that he had obtained from the stop and was able to identify that it was registered to Mr. Robinson, and he had in fact had contact with Mr. Robinson on the morning of September 11th, 2025.
The information that he ran, do you know what information when you say that, he ran information?
Yes, he ran a partial plate.
Right. A license plate?
Correct.
And based on that partial license plate, he was able to identify the owner of that vehicle?
Yes.
And did he tell you who the owner of that vehicle was?
He did, yes.
Okay, and who did he tell you that it belonged to?
So there were two registered owners of the vehicle, Tyler Robinson and an Amber Robinson.
Did he say anything?
The man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk is back in a Utah courtroom for day 2 of what is expected to be a week-long preliminary hearing. Now, prosecutors are trying to convince the judge that they have enough evidence to move forward to a murder trial. They put 2 witnesses on the stand yesterday, including a former Utah Valley University campus police officer. He was there on the day of the shooting and says he was the first to reach the roof that suspect Tyler Robinson allegedly fired from.
To me, when I got up there and I could see this disturbance in gravel, to me it looks like a sniper pad, a person that has been laying in a prone position, and you've got markings of elbows, knees, and feet to where somebody was in the line of sight of where Charlie's tent was.
Now, Judge Tony Graff could be seen flinching when shown footage of the fatal shot. Robinson reportedly remains still. Prosecutors say they have a lot of evidence to present this week, including DNA and ballistics evidence, surveillance video, testimony from Robinson's former partner, and an alleged handwritten confession. Now, just last hour, the prosecution showed surveillance video it says shows Robinson returning in his car to campus in the early morning after Charlie was killed. Up next, the defense will cross-examine Agent David Hull, who testified on that video. You know, Todd, as I look at this, I want our audience to really understand this is not the trial. This is a preliminary hearing. All you have to establish is probable cause, reasonable belief that a crime has been committed. And in most states, you're not even entitled to full discovery, meaning all of the evidence. In this case, 100% of the evidence has been given to the defense. And yet Josh Ritter said this is laborious and dragging on bit by bit. This is going to take forever.
None of this should be necessary, to your point. One guy could have gotten on a stand and said, here's what I saw. Boom, we move ahead. We fulfill the requirements of a preliminary hearing. Now we can get on to the meat and potatoes of trial. This is all because the defense, to Josh Ritter's point, is drawing this out. And Ritter also explained they are objecting to every little piece of evidence, no matter how trivial. That's unacceptable. That is clearly a delay tactic. Heck, oftentimes the defense waives the preliminary hearing because it is so pro forma. I understand the judge in this case wants to be as deferential to the defense as possible because a lot of eyeballs on this case, and he does not want to be overturned on appeal. But at some point, enough is enough. I think this judge needs to admonish the defense team and say, if you keep objecting to trivial evidence, we're going to sanction you. It has to stop because in addition to it being the preliminary hearing, it's foreshadowing how long and endless this trial is going to be. If they're doing this at this stage, imagine what they're going to do at trial. And what does that do? It prolongs the agony. Already a horrific situation for Charlie Kirk's family, but it prolongs this months, potentially years into the future, and that's not right.
And the irony of this is that Utah actually has a provision to protect victims from undue delay. And it's one of the only states in the nation to have that, to protect people like Erica Kirk and the Kirk family, balancing it against the Sixth Amendment. And yet it's taking so long.
You know what? And they know what's coming down the road. So, okay, they're looking at this surveillance video because they say it was edited. It was edited to make it easier to see this young man, Robinson, going up the stairs or moving around the campus. And then down the road, maybe today.
Peace, DLD, welcome.
Maybe tomorrow, you're going to hear from his alleged lover. And he's going to say what Tyler Robinson told him, where he put the rifle and things like that. And, you know, there's a lot of evidence coming down. Of course, these preliminary hearing is going to turn into a trial with a lot of this evidence being admitted.
Yeah, and the evidence, there is DNA on the screwdriver, Cheryl. There is also here, the roommate texted, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson replied, "I am. I'm sorry." That's pretty definitive.
Right, and Lance Twiggs has produced all of this, and I think that's going to be the key turning point. I hope so, at least when we hear from him. He's the last one, apparently, that the court is going to hear from. But to Todd's point about the defense, that's one of the things that I think worries me the most, because the defense had the successful momentum with the cameras, making sure that Tyler Robinson is his shackles, his handcuffs, everything is not shown, and also as far as the video evidence in the room.
All right, thank you, Sandra. Let's bring in Josh Ritter and Donna Rotuno, both Fox News contributors and criminal defense attorneys. We saw this new footage this morning in the 11 a.m. hour that showed Robinson limping up the stairs inside a building on campus. That was right before he took his perch on the roof and then ultimately allegedly executed his assassination. I mention this footage because it's another peek we're getting at him that day. I don't know what you guys think, but I have never personally seen more chilling footage of a murder suspect in my life. I don't know if anything about this strikes either one of you as sort of particularly jarring.
Go ahead.
Well, I think what it says to me, of course, is this took planning, premeditation. You have somebody who came back to campus, changed their clothes, and we will know later on that there are text messages involved in this where Tyler Robinson admits to changing his clothes. So we have the change of clothes, we have the way he is walking, which clearly would be consistent with him trying to conceal a rifle in his pants, maybe up his shirt, making it very difficult to walk. So again, these are dominoes the defense is going to try to knock down, but the prosecution is putting up these dominoes one by one to show how every piece of evidence here matters and how every piece of evidence is going to lead to a finding of probable cause, and this case will go to trial.
One element of this video that we still had on screen up until a moment ago, Josh, is the fact that we see Robinson just in and among all of these university students going about their daily lives completely unaware that in their midst is this psychopathic, enraged individual who's about to carry out a murder.
No, you're absolutely right. You described it as chilling, and I'd say that that's exactly what it seemed like to me as well, to realize what he's about to do and what he's planning to do. One of the things that was important, I think, today is for first time we're seeing this. Much of this case, I think it's important to remember, is circumstantial. So all these little pieces matter. All of these little, add to the tapestry of the case that the prosecution is going to put together. And this piece of video that we've never seen before helps us establish that vehicle as well. Yes, we've got his clothing. Yes, they can nearly put him at the location on a minute-by-minute basis, what he was doing. But that vehicle was so distinctive as well. That was some new information today. So all of this is going to help in creating this, death by 1,000 cuts presentation of a case that they're going to give to the jurors at the end of this.
Yeah, and Donna, the judge also ruled that cameras could take in this footage or these stills of these handwritten incident reports that were shown inside the courtroom. This after making the decision that was much fought over about letting cameras in the courtroom at all. Do you think this is another good indicator of a move towards transparency here?
I do. I think this is a great move toward transparency. And when you look here, I think part of the reason that they want this out there is so a lot of these conspiracy theories can be put to rest. These are things that were happening in real time. And as the defense is trying to downplay the quality of the investigation here, I think the judge is allowing the prosecution to say, look, this is what was happening in real time. These were the notes that they were taking. These are the progress notes taken by detectives. And this is what's happening when something like this takes place. I think the defense wants to make it seem like everything should be perfect and buttoned up, but that's not really the way an investigation is. And I think it's important for the public to see, for the court to see, for the families to see the way this transpired and what the investigators actually did.
Donna, Josh, you're both doing an amazing job making some pretty esoteric details understandable and real for those of us who don't have your expertise. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, Bill, preliminary hearings are called prima facie hearings. You're basically trying to assess the evidence. There's no jury here, so it's just the judge making a determination whether or not the state has presented enough evidence, and it's a very low standard in a preliminary hearing to move this to trial. Spoiler alert, this is definitely going to go to trial. There is a veritable mountain of evidence here, and I think the next couple of days you're going to see more state witnesses. They have 4 FBI agents, and they had 1 university campus police officer yesterday. And then the last is going to be what we call an 1102 statement from Lance Twiggs, who was the romantic interest and the roommate of Tyler Robinson. This is going to be an explosive couple of days just with the amount of evidence that's going to be put forward and the type of evidence. The state is going to also have an opportunity to cross-examine 3 witnesses that the defense is going to put on. They are all from out of state, and they all are DNA or biological experts, so they'll be weighing in on that. The cross-examination is where the interesting part is going to be this week.
Day 2 of a key hearing to lay out the evidence against Charlie Kirk's accused killer about to get underway in Utah. After Kirk's widow, Erica, and his family came face to face with him for the first time yesterday. We're expecting her back in court at the top of the hour as well. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Morning to you. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning at home. Graphic testimony, as you can well understand. And disturbing video on day 1. It's a 5-day preliminary hearing. It's going to happen every day this week. Erica Kirk deciding to leave the courtroom to avoid watching videos of her husband's horrific murder. When at least 2 of those videos were shown, there were only certain people who watched that, including the judge and the witness and the lawyers. A former campus police officer giving testimony about video that shows a person getting into position on the roof and taking a shot, and then after that shot was fired, running away.
That same officer then describes what he found after rushing up 4 flights of stairs onto the rooftop.
To me, when I got up there and I could see this disturbance of gravel, to me it looks like a sniper pad, a person that has been laying in a prone position, and you've got markings of elbows, knees, and feet to where somebody was in the line of sight of where Charlie's tent was.
Copy. So criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter is now here. Fox News contributor outside the courthouse in Provo, Utah. Top line message from you, Josh, about what you heard on day 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, it set the tone for how quickly, or rather how not so quickly, this prelim is going to proceed. We're seeing that the defense is really fighting every single piece of evidence that comes in. For every video that they wanted marked by the prosecution as an exhibit, for every picture that the prosecution tried to mark as an exhibit, the defense would stand up and launch several objections, which the judge would have a miniature hearing on. So it made for a very laborious day to hear some of this evidence admitted. But we did get some significant information. One was that sniper pad that was described by one of the officers, where you could literally see where they alleged that Tyler Robinson was positioning himself before taking that shot. Some other pieces of information about just kind of the atmospherics on the day at the campus and how people reacted. Some other pieces of video and some photographs. But today we're hoping to get to more of the information that has to do with Robinson himself, text messages, the letter that he left behind, comments that he made to his roommate.
I want to play a little bit more from the lead state investigator who spoke yesterday about the first priority and the large volume there.
It kind of became organized chaos, but we did have a plan, and our priority was determining whether we had an ability or a way to be able to identify who had been involved in the shooting. We were getting a large volume of information from the general public, phone tips, people sending videos.
Thank you, DOD. See you Friday at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Analysts were scrolling through social media and social sites as people were posting information onto the internet. So there was a lot of information coming in.
It's a very modern investigation because you have all sorts of different viewpoints. And I read that when the video was shown in the courtroom that the judge himself winced at it. And I'm wondering if we have any information. Did Tyler Robinson have any reaction to that video being played?
You know, the way that the cameras are positioned, you cannot see his face. You're looking at the back of his head for most of the day. But from speaking to some of the reporters that we had inside of the courtroom, he's rather expressionless. We remember times before when he's been in court, he's been seen smiling, even laughing with his attorneys. So far, at least yesterday, he's been almost without reaction to much of the testimony in court.
Josh, thank you for coming on today. We'll let you get back inside court. It'll begin again a bit later this hour on day 2. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Josh.
That pretrial hearing, a painful reminder for Charlie Kirk's friends and family. Andrew Kolvitz become a friend of ours, executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show and Turning Point USA spokesperson. Andrew, good day to you. Dana mentioned this moment. Here is the video. I talked about at least 2 videos being shown to the witness, the defendant, the lawyers, and the judge. Here is the video when the judge flinched watching some of this previously unseen video. So we, many of us reacted more dramatically than that. Here's the Kirk family statement. Every court proceeding serves as a painful reminder of his death and the loss that has irrevocably impacted our lives and the lives of his children. Andrew, you want transparency. You want the system to play out. You'll get cameras in the courtroom. I know you're not there, but watching this as a friend, how you feel?
Yeah, it's awful, honestly. Everybody, all the team, all the staff. I talked to a lot of people yesterday just here at campus, and it was like everybody was having a terrible day. It's like we're being forced to relive this. And so it's bittersweet. We want to see justice for Charlie. We want to see transparency. We want the public to be able to see this evidence. But for us, it's reliving one of the worst days that you can imagine. And my heart is completely with Erica and Charlie's parents, Rob and Kathy, as they have to navigate what can only be described as an excruciating experience being in that courtroom. And so I think mixed emotions. Bill, it's difficult.
You mentioned Erica, of course, and this is the family statement that every court proceeding serves as a painful reminder of his death and the loss that has irrevocably impacted our lives and the lives of his children. I'm sorry, Bill, you might have already read that. I guess my mind has been going back to that day on September 11th of last year. And I have read that you said that you trust that justice will be done. Tell us more about that belief that it will turn out right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's what I will tell you is I've had so many countless behind the scenes conversations, whether that's with prosecutors that are in the way is overwhelming, that there's a ton of evidence regardless of how you look at it. And I do trust if you look at the way Judge Graff is going about this, he's very deliberate, he's very disciplined, he's calling balls and strikes. I like some of what he does. I get frustrated at other things that he does, but I do see that everybody involved in this seems to be taking it very seriously. They're being very professional. And listen, we have a justice system that has to work, that has to be able to show sunlight is the best disinfectant, as they said. So that's why we've always been pro putting cameras in there, pro letting as much information and evidence out into the public as possible, because we think ultimately people are going to realize, hey, the justice system worked, and we see the evidence, and listen, he's innocent until proven guilty, and that's the process we have. And we're going to let it play out. But yeah, we have to trust that Charlie's going to get justice.
Right. And Erica wanted cameras in the courtroom too. Just to paraphrase, at one point she said, "This was a very public murder of my husband. I want, we should continue to show the public what happened here." It must be exceedingly difficult for her to be there.
Yeah. And I just want to say thank you to Don Jr., Brandon Tatum, Jack Posobiec. We have so many friends that are in there, and her friends and family that decided to go to Utah to be with her, both inside the courtroom and outside. I decided it was better to be here with the team, and I'm grateful for that. I don't know how I would have reacted being in that courtroom, having to breathe the same air. I just don't know. And so I'm grateful to the support that she's received, both like I said, in the courtroom, but all around the country. It's been overwhelming yesterday. I can tell you it was really heartening in that way, just to see all the support flooding in, both for Erica and the team.
Andrew Colvett, thank you. We'll stay in touch with you as this continues.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Dana. Thank you.
Let's bring in Fox News contributor and criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter and Fox News correspondent, former deputy prosecutor Chandler Painter, and they join us now. Thank y'all so much. I want to go to you first, Josh, because I understand that this is a death penalty case. So you get that automatic appeal. And many of the things that you see in court, at least from the defense, is for the record so they can challenge it. But I did find it troubling that even the most minute settled issues that you learn, that the defense objected to them yesterday. What is the strategy behind that?
No, you make an excellent point. It is a death penalty case. They're going to take things a little bit more carefully, and so you expect more objections, but this is taking it to the extreme. For everybody who's been watching, this is not normal. They have a standing objection to hearsay in this case. They've already argued that ahead of time. The judge has already ruled on it, but every time a piece of evidence comes in, they renew this objection along with a list of other objections that is then cause for the judge to have a kind of miniature hearing between the two sides. He hears them both out thoroughly, then reviews the evidence before it comes in. And it's making the admission of each exhibit, each picture, each video take so long. It is a complete slog. And you can understand why they've given 5 days for this prelim to take place. And I'll be honest with you, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if it goes into next week at this point.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my
Some of you are saying some pretty crazy things. I hope that Charlie Kirk gets justice. Okay? This is insane. I don't want a person like that walking around. What was I? No. I thought we celebrated free speech. Can't unalive somebody because you feel you don't like what they said.
It's approximately 8:30 in the morning on September 10th, 2025.
And what leads you to believe this particular vehicle belongs to Mr. Robinson?
Information that was provided regards to driver's license and Department of Motor Vehicle records. The vehicle fits the description of a vehicle owned by Mr. Robinson.
Is there anything unique about that vehicle that stands out to you?
The shape of the vehicle is very distinct, but predominantly the wheels were very distinctive on this version of the vehicle.
Now what do we see?
The driver of the vehicle exits the vehicle and then walks on foot to exit the parking garage. That's the individual in the red T-shirt and the shorts and the shoes.
And do you believe you recognize who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
I believe that's Tyler Robinson.
All right. Where does he go from there?
He heads out of the parking garage on foot into the campus and actually goes to the quad area of the campus. At that time, he makes contact with some representatives from TPUSA.
By quad area?
Sorry, the amphitheater is what I previously referred it to.
So he goes up on campus, visits the amphitheater area, the courtyard or quad.
Correct.
And then what do we see here now?
He returns on foot back to the same vehicle.
And what time is he returning back to the vehicle?
It's about 9:25 a.m.
Oh, what are we looking at? What is this? Oh.
And where is this parking structure
I can't
located
see
on
him.
campus?
It's just off of Campus Drive. It's a short walk from the amphitheater.
What do we see now?
That's the vehicle exiting with Mr. Robinson driving the vehicle.
Now what do we see?
This is Mr. Robinson returning to the campus on foot from the neighborhood to the northeast. You can see he's wearing the same clothing as in the previous video. And he's carrying a blue backpack.
Describe the clothing.
It's a maroon colored t-shirt with gray or olive colored shorts and then Converse shoes.
And what time did he return to campus?
Just after 10 a.m.
And does he leave the parking structure eventually?
He does, yes.
Okay. And during this visit, do you know where he goes after he leaves the parking structure?
Yes, we were able to track his movements on campus. He went to Chick-fil-A in the Sorensen building and purchased some food, sat and ate the food. Then, I'm sorry,
Where did he purchase the food from?
Chick-fil-A in the Sorensen Center.
And where is that in relation to the amphitheater or the courtyard?
It's kind of on the northeast side of the amphitheater. It would be on the upper back edge of the amphitheater, furthest away from where the tent was that Mr. Koch was in.
And from there, where does he go?
From there, he moves across campus, out across Campus Drive into a wooded area on what would be kind of the northeast side of Campus Drive. Then returns back onto campus. We noticed at this point that he's no longer carrying the backpack that he was originally wearing. He moves through the Gunther building and the computer science building. And then, I'm sorry?
And then goes where?
Then goes across to the railing that gives access to the roof of the Losi building.
From there?
From there, he comes back down the stairs and walks off campus from that point.
And about what time was that he left campus that second time? Do you know?
I believe it was approximately 11 a.m. or just after, if I recall. I could verify from my notes if you need an exact time.
Yeah, if you don't mind. That'll help you remember, refer to it. Don't read it out loud. Just let me know when you've had a chance to look at that, would you? Were you able to refresh your memory as far as the time?
I was, yes.
And what time was it?
It was just prior to 11 a.m. when he walked off campus.
And before we go any further, the parking structure that he left initially, where is that parking structure in relation to the LDS Institute building?
I'm sorry, in relation to?
The LDS Institute building on campus?
I think it would be just to the north of the LDS Institute building, if I recall.
Do you recall whether it was adjacent to the LDS Institute?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. What do we see displayed here now? Go ahead.
This is a video of Mr. Robinson returning back to campus the same way that he did previously on foot.
And this takes just a moment. And why, well, let me ask you this. You believe this is Mr. Robinson returning to campus?
I do, yes.
Okay. And why do you believe it's Mr. Robinson?
The shoes are the same, and the images that we have from my viewing and seeing Mr. Robinson on the video, it's the same person.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait or what?
Limp.
Okay. Now what do we see?
So it's Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
And again, we're able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were able to.
So when he leaves the parking structure, where does he go?
He comes up around Campus Drive. As you can see on the video here, there's a cut through there north of the Losi building, and that's Mr. Robinson coming up the sidewalk. He has the noticeable gait or limp in his walk. And then he moves south across the front of the Losi building.
On the sidewalk?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
He would be the rear of the two individuals in this particular video.
So right now, if you were to break this picture into quadrants, where would he be?
He would be in the top left quadrant, walking to the left of the image.
Now what do we see?
This is an image looking across the parking lot to the Losi building, and Mr. Robinson is appearing on the exterior staircase, which gives access to the Losi building roof and the area where the railing was.
And again, let's break that image into quadrants. Where would he be located if you broke it into quadrants?
It's in the top right, and the individual can be seen moving under the notations that are on the video.
And what time is this?
It's just afternoon, about 12:15.
On what day?
On September 10th, 2025.
What just happened, or what did we just see happen?
The individual actually kind of rolls over the railing onto the roof of the Losi building.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
And again, in the top left corner, the individual is now seen running across the rooftop of the Losi building to what would be the southwest corner of the building, crouching down and then crawling to the corner of the building.
And this is at what time?
Around 12:23. I think the timestamp on the video is 12:22.
On the 10th.
On September 10th, yes, 2025.
So we're clear, this is the roof of the Losi building.
Correct.
Can you still see that individual?
Yes, you can, laying prone.
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I'm sorry?
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I do, yes.
And how long is he out there on the edge of the building?
Just until the reported shot was fired at 12:23 and 28. The individual then stands up and then moves across the building to the north.
Is that what we're seeing happening right now?
It is, yes. They move behind the atrium area on the rooftop to the northeast corner where the white triangle is.
Do you see Mr. Robinson now?
I do, yes. He's just arriving at the corner of the building, the almost top center of the image.
What are we seeing now?
And Mr. Robinson lowering and jumping off of the roof of the Losi building onto the grass area, and then moving away towards Campus Drive. And he appears to be carrying some kind of an object in his hand at this time.
So he's approaching
Campus Drive.
And again, broken into quadrants. Where is he currently?
In the top right quadrant.
And the time?
It's 12:24 and 42 on the timestamp.
What do we see now?
He then crosses Campus Drive and drops down into the wooded area on the far side of Campus Drive.
And that is located in what part of the video? What quadrant?
It would have been just off center on the top left side.
What do we see now?
This is the intersection of Campus Drive and 800 South. There's a vehicle attempting to turn right onto Campus Drive. That's the vehicle that's driven by Mr. Robinson.
And on the screen, where is that vehicle that you're referring to located? If you broke it into quadrants.
It's on the left side, on the upper side, the upper quadrant.
Now, what do we see?
And that vehicle's now pulling away and heading east on 800 South.
What's your name, young lady?
Huh?
Your name?
Huh?
Your name?
My name is Brenda.
And your birthday?
I don't know what that. I don't know how anybody at this point can find him guilty unless they're just trolling innocent unless they're just trolling my chat. You gotta be trolling my chat. You gotta be. Let's switch gears for a second. Let's switch gears.
Democrats about open borders. They're so fanatical that to achieve their goal of remaking America with third world immigrants, they're willing to sacrifice an unlimited number of American lives.
And in total, for more than an hour and a half, a valiant attempt was made to save Trooper Michael Pajara's life, and they were unsuccessful. The man died a hero. He was an outstanding trooper.
The man who took this hero's life is 33-year-old Michael Bond. He's here courtesy of Joe Biden's 2024 mass parole program. Now, not only did he stay here, he was given a 4-ton weapon to use on our highways because a Massachusetts company gave him a commercial driver's license. And the far-left governor there, Maura Healey, remember, she's a passionate advocate for illegals to be on our roads, goes on and on about how when they need to have driver's licenses because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to get insurance, blah, blah, blah. She's the worst on immigration. Even when Trump's DHS canceled this guy's parole program and Mr. Bond was told to leave the country, well, he ignored the order. And why not? He was probably betting on those anti-ICE thugs to shield him in Massachusetts, and his CDL kept getting renewed anyway. Now, Officer Pajara was a 20-year vet of the force. He just moved back in with his parents to help care for his mom as she battles cancer. That's the life taken by Joe Biden's illegal. Here to discuss his borders are Tom Homan. Tom, does Governor Healey of Massachusetts and her ilk ever address the suffering of these American victims?
Absolutely not. She'll be on TV saying she's not a sanctuary state. She said 100 times, when in fact she is. Look, you know, Laura, you and I have talked about this before. I've met with hundreds of angel moms and dads. That's the reason, one of the top reasons I came back out of retirement twice for President Trump is because of the stories I've been told by parents who bury their children. So it doesn't get better. I mean, we turned up the heat. As you see, ICE had a record number of arrests in the last 5 days. They broke every record in the book. 10,000 arrests in less than 5 days. We turned the heat up. Ever since the Supreme Court decisions, we're turning the heat up on the Haitians who lost their status here. So we got a lot of work to do. We got more resources to do it. We got more agents to do it. So you're going to see these arrest numbers climb because we got to arrest these people. We can't wait for them to commit another crime to find them. We got to find the criminals and the non-criminals, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth because we always hear, well, we're getting rid of the worst of the worst. Well, before he killed a police officer with his truck, maybe he wasn't technically the worst of the worst. But now we have a family man, a wonderful officer, a hero, an American dead. That, again, makes the argument that, again, people want mass deportations. They want these people out of the country. They're sick of Maura Healey. They're tired of these sanctuary cities or not, whatever they want to call themselves. And we need mass deportations. Whatever the anti-ICE people are going to do, we got to roll right over them. I don't care what we have to use. Water cannons, don't hurt anybody who's protesting, but they got to get out of the way. We got to get these people out of the country.
No, I've said from day one, everybody's on the table. And if you look at the numbers, what I looked at yesterday, just over half of everybody we're arresting is a criminal. So about half are non-criminals. So everybody's on the table. You know, when President Trump wants to prioritize public safety threats, yeah, we may prioritize, and we got a list. We got 4 criminals and 4 non-criminals. Try to get the child predator first. But bottom line is, everybody's on the table. The numbers show it's about half and half now. So, you know, and with the more additional resources we got from the reconciliation bill, you wait to see what the numbers are this year. I'm not going to say in the last week, ICE has broken historic records every single day, and we're not going to stop. We're going to add more resources. We're going to add more targeting. We got millions of people we need to find in the next couple of years, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah, there's about 30 million people here illegally, so that's a big number. But I mean, there are fry cooks, there are caregivers. They're here illegally, and Americans have traditionally always done this work. Period. End of story. By the way, I mentioned this Maura Healey character, the governor of Massachusetts, and her passion is protecting illegals. Watch.
Tell me about the driver's licenses for the undocumented. You think that's a good move?
So it's a matter of public safety. People are going to drive with or without a license. Right. That's why I supported it. And that's why I stood with many public safety officials.
Public safety, Tom. She's worried about public safety.
No, she just proves every day she's not smart. And she's on TV every day. She's not a sanctuary state. When you normalize illegal immigration and you give them driver's license, you give them in-state tuition and all these benefits, that just draws more people to those sanctuary cities. And that's why I'm glad the Department of Justice is suing sanctuary cities. I've been in many meetings with President Trump. President Trump wants to take the sanctuary cities on, and he's having DOJ exactly do that. Now, we got radical judges are siding against us sometimes, but we're not going to stop. We're going to keep suing sanctuary cities. And like I said on your show a couple weeks ago, we are going to flood the zone in sanctuary cities because we know we have a problem there. We know there's millions of people in sanctuary cities because they're protected by the establishment. That's where we're going to concentrate our resources on, sanctuary cities.
But we'll never eat again as a country if we don't have people here. We'll never eat again. We'll never have a hospital employee. I mean, the lies keep coming. Tom, you're a rock star. Thank you, my friend.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Fight at the museum. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Do you ever stop to wonder how they came to think this way?
One of the things that brought me into starting my PhD program was finally coming to the realization that we were never really going to be able to tackle white supremacy in the way that we need to without reparations. Our ability to quantify racism, I think, is so critical. And I think we've been missing that and understanding it beyond just the general gap of race.
The reparations obsession. From a woman who was born in Ethiopia and whose family was allowed to come here courtesy of America's goodwill, a diversity visa. Malat Kiros is the Democrats' great socialist hope in Colorado. He's a typical lefty, overeducated and entitled, an anti-American malcontent. But there are countless more like her. Their corrosive worldview is shaped by a number of inputs. We got to get to the bottom of all of it. Of course, the parents in some cases, the schools, social media, and yes, cultural institutions that feed and reinforce their resentment toward all things American. And this week, the Trump administration is blowing the lid off one of the worst, the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. Now, it's a museum led now by this woman, Anthea Hardig, with the help of top staff such as Patty Artiega. They've taken our nation's most important museum for American history and turned it into a crusade for restorative history.
Our new mission statement, empowering people to create a more just and compassionate future by exploring, preserving, and sharing the complexity of our past. As we all know in this conference, Loving America is very complicated.
I'm here representing the Undocumented Organizing Collecting Initiative, chronicling the past 20 years of people without citizenship, coming out of the shadows, mobilizing and influencing legislation, and becoming their own political force in the 21st century.
Oh, so the Smithsonian has been woke for years, but now you see this from this hokey video. Now it's just gone modern political issues across nearly every. They should be confronted with evidence that's built on America's racism, xenophobia, and of course, overall greed.
It's the kind of stuff that shallow celebrities spout to try to sound smart.
I think him forcing us and firing and taking the names off boats of important Latino history heroes in history and erasing all that erasure on women and black folk.
The museums, the Smithsonian,
Yeah,
erasing our history.
completely taking it out.
And since that's the real history, right, we should all be ashamed and we should be ready to make amends, meaning they're coming to take your money and maybe even your property and then just give it to a bunch of their friends. That's what they want. And that's what they'll do unless we, the people, get involved and demand that our congressmen and our senators stop funding this anti-American madness. And that's the angle.
I have
what
some
a
more
plot
time on
twist.
that one.
The guy with the Nazi tattoo, he's a bad dude. Yeah, someone finally blew the whistle on Plattner, and it was a rape whistle. Maine Democrat Graham Plattner has been accused of rape. At this point, I'm starting to suspect those oysters he tried to shuck were roofied. I wonder, is there anything Graham wants to directly address?
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me. You have welcomed me into your homes. So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
Yeah, on the upside, he's got more time to cheat on his wife. But the best path forward to where exactly? If it's to a singles bar, ladies, keep your hands over your drinks. Because all of his top supporters, Liz Warren, Ro Khanna, Chuck Schumer, are distancing themselves faster than Paul Pelosi from a car accident. The latest accuser said she hesitated to come forward because she's a Dem and didn't want to hurt the campaign. And I'm sure she saw how previous allegations were dismissed because the woman wasn't on their side. Per usual, believe all women depends on political affiliation and usefulness. But it's interesting that this is their final straw. Not the Nazi tattoo, not praising Hamas, Antifa, not blaming rape on drunk women, not espousing violence against political enemies, not saying a fellow soldier should die, not jerking off in a porta potty, and not having a mustache that's longer than his beard. He gave Dems plenty of chances to do the right thing. I know, that was a Hail Mary. But this was too much. Except some are still defending him. And yeah, it's a chick. So, Debbie, what are the ramifications of this?
What are the ramifications of this?
This is up to the people of Maine, and they spoke loud and clear. They want change. They want someone who's going to stand up to Donald Trump. I will always be concerned about domestic violence allegations, sexual assault allegations. But also, we got a man in the White House that's a predator. So it's a very complicated situation.
As Sir Mix-a-Lot would say, that's a hell of a big butt. So you're against rape unless the rapist challenges Trump. So the ends justify literally any means. That's the Dems' biggest crime. By painting Trump as pure evil, it gives them the pass to embrace challengers who are literally the evil thing they accuse Trump of being. So they present the choice, wash their hands, and dump the responsibility on the voters, who they never shame for backing Plattner, yet they had zero problems smearing millions of Trump voters as garbage and tossing Bernie supporters aside when clearly he was the party's choice. But also, why did they stick with him even as it kept getting worse? Because that's a fallacy. His scandals didn't get worse. It began at rock bottom with the Gestapo body art. By accepting that, they could accept anything. The second they decided that was excusable, everything after that was fine. It's like after mistakenly purchasing the pleasures of a Bangkok ladyboy, well, you might as well see it through. Pretty soon, the bar was lower than Joe Biden's nuts. And over time, they found themselves neck deep in a sunk cost. They're like a gambler in Vegas trying to win back his kid's college fund. And yet, if they dumped him the moment they saw the tattoo, they wouldn't be here. But every heinous act they excused as PTSD, a man wrestling with demons, while they left out the context that millions and millions of vets didn't get a Nazi tattoo. And Joey Jones never sent me topless photos, no matter how many times I demanded them. Oh, yeah. I'll wear him down, just you watch. Their behavior reminds me of film producers who know the movie they're making is a stinker, but they never shut it down. Graham Plattner is their Supergirl. They'll say it'll be okay, but they know they're screwed. And no one says, maybe we should end this. So scared of cutting their losses, they'll drive full speed off a cliff because politics rules over principle. Hell, they'd run the corpse of Charlie Manson. And at this point, that would be a breath of fresh air. Let's welcome!
You gotta keep my finger on the. No, you guys know. When it comes to gut stuff, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Doing the weather in Peoria, former Trump.
I think this is about power, not morality. I don't think it ever was, you know? I mean, this is about, they think that
Can you
they
guys
have a
like my
better
video,
shot
please?
at beating Susan Collins if Graham Plattner is out of the race. So they're acting like this is about protecting women. This is about taking a moral stance. No, it's not. This is just pure politics. I think that innocent until proven guilty still has to mean something in this country. And I think that you can take her allegations seriously, but that it should play out in the court of law, not the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of tired of this pattern in our politics where we have men who will be like at the 10-yard line of some political, victory. And whether it's Clarence Thomas or Brett Kavanaugh or President Trump or Eric Swalwell or Graham Plattner, you can be at the 10-yard line. And then there's this allegation from 20 years that can come out. And I just don't want to live in a country where, where that's a reality. I mean, I'm a woman, but I'm also a sister of two brothers, So I think it should play out in the court of law, not the court of public opinion.
That is surprisingly fair. Almost too thoughtful for this show. Very disturbing. Joe, let's bring it back to reality.
Yeah.
This guy's done.
Yeah,
I don't like it, but
isn't it crazy? It's always the ones you most suspect.
Yes.
It really is.
There was a Nazi.
Oh, you guys, sorry. I gotta get to the rest of this. Oh, Doc. Yeah, I you guys get the idea. You get the idea. Are we still friends? You guys. Let me just give it to you straight. We don't need their commentary. Let me just show you guys what's happening. I don't have too much longer with you guys.
So, Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner is facing sexual assault allegations as a former girlfriend details her accusations against him.
I recognized his level of intoxication, and I knew in that moment I wasn't safe. And I don't think I was safe to physically fight back. He's big, he's strong. And I just had to evaluate my safety and come up with the least worst outcome to the situation. And so I felt like complying for my safety was the least worst option.
Complying for her safety. Of course, Plattner denied the allegations as a growing list of Democrats calling on him to drop out of the race.
Wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict. We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
Let's bring in Fox News contributor Bill McGurn. Bill, I thank you so much for joining the program. My question is, why are Democrats ditching him now? And I just want to show the wall because this isn't the first scandal. You got October. The Reddit posts resurfaced about communists, anti-police, disparaged rural white Americans. Then you got the disclose of the Nazi tattoo that he had. Then you got what he described about the Purple Heart veteran, mocking them, the Charlie Kirk profile, the Kirk profile, and then he's picture, and then you got the sexually explicit messages, the ex-girlfriend who talked about the unsettling behavior, and then you get this. So, I mean, there's been a lot of scandal. Why ditch him now?
Why ditch him now is because, as I think Mr. Fetterman put it, he's like a dead man walking. He's just going to run a bad campaign. He's a weak candidate now, and they know they're going to lose if they stick with him. The worst part of this is that they knew all this and they went ahead with them. I think that's the real problem. I think Senator Fetterman expressed it well last night. He has no sympathy for this guy and for the decisions that led to making him the nominee. What's scary is that 72%, I think it was, of Democratic voters in his state voted for him.
Right. And I'm sorry, I meant the Kick profile. That's where mostly under 25 age young people that are on that profile. So I guess so the Democrats, I think, have a week now if they want to replace him. He left the door open to drop out, but he hasn't said he's going to drop out yet.
Right. I mean, look, the incentive for these guys is to cling on, hoping if they sit through the storm, even if the house is broken and everything, they can survive. I mean, to me, it looks like he doesn't have a job. I think he needs the Senate for a livelihood. It seems like his parents are supporting him. I don't think he has many options. And so why wouldn't he stay in? He doesn't care about the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party has a bigger problem. They don't stand for anything. Will Rogers, I think, said you can't beat something with nothing. And that's why the Democratic Socialists are routing them. They have bad beliefs, but at least they believe in something. And the voters sense it.
Yeah, and the young woman, the latest accuser, says part of the reason why she showed up and wanted to talk about her story is they totally dismissed the other young woman in the New York Times because she was a Republican.
Exactly. And everyone can see these standards. Where will the Democratic Party draw the line? Seems to me they only get concerned when they might lose a seat. That's the only thing that matters to them, power. And it's not very attractive. So it'll be interesting to see if this is last night was the last gasp, and he announces today he's seeking counseling or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Democrats have a history now of doing the old switcheroo when they know someone was troubled, and it never works well for them. So, Bill, we'll be seeing how it's all going to play out this time. Maybe history repeats itself. Maybe they get away with this, but we'll see. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good morning to you and all.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox.
Are you guys doing okay? I got about 7 more minutes with you guys. Okay, are you okay? Thank you, Jerome, my friend. I always appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let me yeah, from Cali. Where are you from? Where are you guys from in the chat? So yeah, I'm about to crash soon, but let me give you 2 more little clips. Yeah, I'll lay it down. And see y'all later. I don't know if you saw this or not. I'm in Cali, so here you go. Here. Look at this.
That was what Newport Beach, California looked like over the holiday weekend. More than 400 people were arrested, most of them young and minors. It took police officers 36 hours to stop the mayhem. It started when a massive crowd started brawling and setting off illegal fireworks on Saturday night.
welcome.
The Newport Beach
Iceberg.
Police Association said that at times officers were outnumbered 500 to 1. The mayor is blaming social media. Quote, a large group of agitators invaded Newport Beach, spurred on by an alleged TikTok takeover. These persons came to our city with the intent on causing harm, injury, and destruction, bringing harassment, disturbances, and mayhem. Kaylee, we'll start with you on this one. This has confounded law enforcement in multiple communities across the nation. It's been hard to address due to the fact that the organizers can gather people up on the internet and send them somewhere where perhaps the police are not expecting.
Yeah, and the footage of this shows that this wasn't just a bunch of teens setting off illegal fireworks or running wild on the beach. They were looting nearby businesses and stores. In fact, all of the local restaurants, all of the businesses had to shut down. One of the grocery stores in the area I saw online was completely destroyed after these teens ran in and just started throwing things off of the shelves. And I think that all cities at this point need to learn from Miami Beach, Florida, and from the state of Florida in general, which had a very big problem with spring break ruckus for many, many years. And what Miami Beach decided to do was they implemented a number of policies to crack down on that. They started charging high fees for parking for locals who wanted to come in and park for the day, upwards of $100. They started surging the police presence to those beaches where spring break visitors were frequenting, including sending state troopers there. They started enforcing alcohol-related restrictions, and the results speak for themselves. Crime in the area is down 8% from 2024 to 2025. They cracked down on several shootings that had happened the year prior. So the results speak for themselves. The problem, of course, is that in many of these states that are not Republican run, you have Democratic officials who don't want to crack down on lawless behavior. They don't want to crack down on crime. So whereas Miami Beach was receiving support from the state and from Governor DeSantis to do that, I highly doubt that Governor Newsom is going to encourage the good people of Newport to do that themselves.
Yeah, and prosecutors in this case, we've seen the police make a number of arrests, but the challenge is the follow through. What are people charged with? What happens? What repercussions do they face in the long run?
Yeah, and the question is not just the young people that I think are actually involved in these teen takeovers on the beaches across the city, in California, but also across the United States. It's also a question of where are the parents? I'm sorry to say it. I think I can say that question because I am a parent myself. Where are the parents and where is their responsibility in all this? And I think there's an ongoing discussion as to whether parents have to face repercussions for the bad behavior of their youth when they're caught taking over towns, especially during holiday weekends. You know, the city of Chicago actually just shot down a measure that would have penalized parents, held them accountable, fining them up to $1,000. And the debate there being, you're just going to penalize parents that are probably already cash strapped versus, well, we have to do something because these young people are not learning their lesson and parents have to be held accountable too. I think we have to get the answers to those types of questions in order to move this forward.
David.
Look, don't blame the algorithm in TikTok. They're going to go after open spaces. It's new. Newport Beach is new, so they're going to go there. Punish the kids. Put them in jail, prosecute them. Your point about the state. By the way, I live in Miami. I saw that shutdown. I saw the shutdown of the George Floyd attempted riots and marches. Miami Beach said no more. You're going to jail. We're going to prosecute you if you're a juvenile under juvenile code, adult under adult code. And that's a big difference. But enough of this. They're damaging, destroying property, causing businesses. And where the parents are absent, then punish the kid. Because the kid or the young person, 18 or over, is an adult, punish them. Put them in jail for a night with an adult in a full adult facility if you're over 18. Let them meet a real criminal and look at their future.
Yeah, these officers are facing dangerous situations, and fireworks are no joke, just setting up random fireworks on the beach.
I think a lot of what we have discussed, rightly so, is reactive and having these people suffer the consequences, but proactive parents. But there's also getting ahead of the problem. Perhaps they're going to sit down today and think about what we could have done differently. They've never seen this in Newport Beach before. This was incredible. Right. These people are not from Newport Beach. The police are saying that these were people coming in from outside states with intent to harm and destruct and have this happen. So perhaps there needs to be a big discussion about monitoring social media to find out when these groups are organizing so that they can staff up, police up, and know to expect it and combat it.
Look, they need to go look at the algorithm, look at who started this, work with TikTok in this case. If you're going to go to the source and start punishing those people if you can.
All right. We will be right back. More Outnumbered in just a moment.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me at
There's so much going on. Newport Beach is a nice area. Let me give you guys one more clip before I get out of here. Just when I thought this story was dying down, it just doesn't. It keeps going. All right. Looks like we'll be covering this one for a while until it ends. Oh wait, what did I do? YouTube just glitched on me. StreamYard just glitched on me. Hold on, you guys. I thought the story was gonna end. Yeah, Newport Beach, Doc, is crazy. It's happening there. All right, you guys, let's finish with Carmelo almost happening.
Know about and having to do with Carmelo Anthony. And the breaking news is this. We understand that his legal team is now seeking a new judge. So he was convicted more than a year after Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a Texas high school track meet. That is when a jury convicted Carmelo Anthony of murder and sentenced him to 35 years behind bars. The case, which started as a confrontation between two teens under a team tent, then grew and became very controversial. It drew intense public scrutiny and competing claims of self-defense. So Anthony is now serving his sentence, but his legal team is also preparing an appeal. So we did want to share that with you. We also have a social media post by TMZ that we did want to share with you. This is a look at some of the file video from the outside of the courthouse. That is Carmelo Anthony right there on your screen as he was convicted in all of this. So just taking you back in time just a little bit, on April 2nd, 2025, Austin Metcalf was participating in a track championship event in Texas when he was fatally stabbed during a confrontation between a Memorial High School team tent. Anthony was also 17 at the time. He was taken into custody at the scene and charged with murder, and his bail was set at $1 million. And so we were hearing and we were following all of the court proceedings right there, both sides speaking out. But then the jury decided to convict Carmelo Anthony, and he is now serving his time in prison. So we do understand that his legal team is now seeking a new judge as well. So any additional information, any additional reaction, we of course will bring that to you right here on Live Now from Fox.
Welcome to the special edition of Straight Shooter with yours truly, Stephen A. Obviously, last week,
do you guys think he's going to win the appeal? I would love to stay up with you guys longer. I'm going to lay it down. Metcalf won't bully someone colored again. What are you talking about, Aries? Even if, I usually don't talk to you guys that much during my streams, and I play the clips, but let me tell you something. Regardless of what you guys are saying about Metcalf, it's not a death sentence. We don't expect our kids to go to track meets and lose their life. And it's not some of you want to make this a white or black thing when it should be a right or wrong thing. Carmelo is doing time because Carmelo committed a crime. Okay, be mad at me, counsel me for saying it. Now, the question is going to be, was it too much time? Is it a fair sentence? Did you get a fair trial? I just play the news. Okay, I don't feel that any child should lose their life. Kids fight all the time. And I really don't know how you guys can say anything other than that, okay? It's not a white or black thing, but some of you want to make it a racial issue. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And then some of you get upset. I don't know what to tell you guys, and I just have to say this. If it was your kid, if your kid had shoved someone or put their hands on someone at a school meeting, would you want your kid to lose their life? Just take the color out of it and just look at the facts of the case. Okay? Both could have walked away. But Carmelo is doing time because Carmelo took somebody's life. Plain and simple. Don't make it anything more than that. So I am interested in what's going to happen with the appeal. We know that Carmelo Anthony has this dynamic, these pro bono appeal lawyers that picked up the case. So I will be watching it and covering it with you guys. Thank you, truth be told. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Damage says, no, he won't even get an appeal, let alone win it. People have to realize he's gone and he'll be serving 35 years, but he'll probably be out in 15. He has to do at least 17 and a half years, Damage. He has to do 17 and a half years. Even if he is granted, I don't feel that he's going to win. I don't know the grounds. People are saying because there were no blacks on the jury, but that's not a criteria for a fair trial. The criteria is the jury of your peers, but they do not promise blacks on the jury. Now, some of you are going to be upset about this, but if you want more blacks on a jury, then stop not going, stop hiding from when you get those jury duty forms, go serve. Okay? I serve on the jury when I get those notices. So that's how you have more of different people on the jury. And since I get so much hate during my streams, I just play the news for you guys and I'll let you interpret for yourself. However, the Carmelo Anthony case has just taken so many twists and turns that it's just sad. It's sad. And some people want to argue about Jeff Metcalf and some of the things that he's saying, some of the racial things that he's saying. I'm not saying that anything is right. I don't know what it's like to grieve a child. And I never would. I pray that I never know what it's like to grieve a child. And I pray that you guys don't experience that. All I'm saying is I'm praying for the country. I'm praying for justice and for the truth to prevail, okay? Uncle Claude said he's losing the appeal. You guys are saying he's losing the appeal. Make it a racial issue. It shows your intelligence. I'm not gonna make it a racial issue. Some people feel because of the color of my skin, I should be for Carmelo Anthony. I'm gonna be for the truth. I'm gonna be for right or wrong, you guys. I'm an American. You guys, a lot of you, not all of you, are American, and that's just what it is. All right. Isaac said you can't handle the truth. You can't be a juror if you're going to be empathetic to the criminal. They talk about the jurors that were struck, the 3 black jurors. Now, I don't know how true this part is, so don't quote me. I'm going to have to say allegedly on this one because I don't know. But they said that those jurors said they couldn't take the race out of it. I don't know if that's true, so I don't even want to repeat that, you guys. I don't know. I know that they were struck because they were educators and they were struck. So nevertheless, he was facing 99 years and he got 35. So I really feel, I did think he might get manslaughter. He didn't get manslaughter. He was convicted. And now this case isn't going away. We have to sit through the appeal. All right. 5 white students and 1 black student. No, it's not about racism. You're delusional. I'm not saying it's Aries. I'm not delusional. I think you're delusional. 35 years for that is crazy. Hi there, I see you. OJ Simpson jury effects. Damage says, did they guarantee an appeal or has his defense given? No, he hasn't won the appeal yet, Damage, not yet. So I don't know if he's going to win or not. I just know that they're bringing up the fact that there are no black jurors. There was something else they were bringing up. I think some of them are saying that some of the evidence was tampered with. The mugshot video was altered and things like that. So hopefully those things will come to light. If those things happen, it shouldn't. You know, we want to see the actual mugshots. We don't want to see some AI edited version of the mugshot. Mr. Good Citizen says he won't win. Receiving 35 years for taking another person's life is crazy. What planet do you live on? Maybe they took Asian to. I would have had the judge decide my fate. Carmelo had a choice of the judge or the jury. after watching the jury's reaction to those photos, I would not have placed. I think he had bad counsel. Oh, that was the other criteria. So no black jurors and the in the jury pool, and the fact that he had ineffective counsel. So that's what he's trying to win on. You notice we're talking about Nolan Wells. Are you that? You notice Fox not talking about Nolan Wells. Are you that naive? That's not the subject, Aries. It's not the subject. I don't care what color you are. Stop unaliving people. Stop unaliving people. If the situation was flopped, you all would have a completely different view on it. Why am I so slow? I don't think YouTube thinks I'm slow. I get over 1 million views a month. She's so naive. Okay, you guys, it's obvious where some of you sit with this. And again, Doc, and again, I'm always going to pray for justice. I value life. I do not like life taken. There's a lot of times I am afraid. I'm afraid of someone else, but I'm not going to take your life. Equal force, equal force. If you threaten harm, now I do stand my ground. I'm in California. I'm not going to let you come to my home or do anything to my home. However, I'm not going to take your life because I disagree with you. I'm not saying it's the case of Carmelo Anthony. I will cover it as the news is put out, and that's it. That's it. That's just all it is. I get tired of racism always being brought up when things don't come out how you want it to come out. I get tired of the race card. Let's say racism for the cases that are actually racist. So that way it's not overused. In this case, you have one child. Neither person presented as a racist. Okay? Austin, Carmelo. There was an altercation at a track meet and one person lost their life. And later it became about race, not before. All right? I love you guys. And I love you guys. Yeah, I get about 1 million views a month. Oh wait. Did I get that right? Hold on. Well, anyways, I did last month, you guys. We'll see. But you know how YouTube is. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad. Yeah, last month I got 1.1 million. So I thank you guys that do follow me. I thank you guys that support me, that grab your memberships. If you want to communicate with me, leave a comment under my community posts. I do respond to them. Usually. Unless you're disrespectful. Well, no, I still respond to them. And if you have something you want me to talk about, leave it under my community post. Aries, don't interrupt the stream by trying to pivot. Leave the comment under my community post because you're typing a lot. You're typing a lot. The response wasn't appropriate. It wasn't appropriate. I can't see taking someone's life. I do feel he should have gotten some time. The question is how much. I'll let you guys debate that and just keep my opinion on that to myself. But you can't just take somebody's life because you disagree with him. And if, let's say, Austin did shove him, which we can see that he did, but does that mean he should have lost his life? I don't think so. I can't agree with that. Not at all. I get a 100% response rate. You do. I thought he was going to get 5 years. I thought he was going to get 5 years too, Jerome. Somewhere like 5 to 10. I thought he was going to get manslaughter. And if he didn't get manslaughter, I thought they would go for the 5 years. But they didn't. A jury said no. And those images, what I don't agree with this trial is that it should have been public. The judge said, hey, this was racially motivated, trying to protect the people involved. But the American people, if something happens in public, we have a right to see it. I do not agree with that judge's decision not to publicize it because there's a lot of things that we just don't know. It's a lot of things that we just don't know. So I did think he'd get a lesser sentence, but he didn't. He got 35 years, but he didn't get 99 years. He got 35. He has to serve a minimum of 17 and a half. He'll have to stay out of trouble in prison. I think that's hard to do. If you know anything about prison, I watch a lot of stories. I watch a lot of prison stories. It's hard to stay out of trouble, especially going in so young. I don't know if you guys were in my chat, but I did cover Carmelo Anthony has filed a grievance because he's saying that he's being bullied. He's being sexually, harassed, sexually harassed in prison, and he has filed a grievance already. I think that Carmelo is having a hard time. And when the cameras are off and everything settles down, he may have so many fans, so many supporters, just like I say about Sean Gaffright, the guy that took Julio, that guy's life, you know. When it's all said and done, they are sitting in those cells by themselves and nothing else matters. And that's when reality hits. And that's unfortunate. So you have all these people saying, oh yeah, you're right. I said the same thing with Luigi Mangione. He's got now that's a totally different case. He's got a lot of fans and people are just fanatic. And I don't understand what happened to justice, what happened to the truth, what happened to right or wrong, but people are going for this vigilante justice thing. Look at what's happening with Tyler Robinson. I don't feel it's any different with Carmelo besides the fact that he's Black. But the media made this hugely about race and people ran with it. YouTubers, bloggers really ran with that scenario. And now here we are now. What about Charlie Kirk? You saw something. What's good, Daquan? I watch a lot of prison films. I know about prison culture. I don't know about prison culture. But you guys, I have a child. And I do not like to see anybody lose their life. At the end of the day, if you fight, if you do whatever, both people should be able to walk away. Go find an adult. I'm not going to go for what you guys are saying about, oh, okay, nobody should have served any time. Okay, I'm not going to go for it. Candace was becoming a bottom of. I love to have friends like her. Okay, all right, you guys. Luigi deserves the chair. That's a sad case. Now, people are saying that the CEO executive was evil and all those things. To take somebody's life in broad daylight, you guys are insane. That's saying that Luigi does not deserve time. I don't care what he looks like, which to me is just a regular person. I don't care. It's not okay. I understand that people are upset about their premiums, but that's a whole corporation. Taking one person's life is not going to lower your premiums. It's just going to send people to prison. Okay. You believe Robinson? I'm watching the trial, Aries, and I'm watching the trial. Watermelon Felon, why are you putting that in my channel? You trying to get my channel taken down? You trying to put hate speech in my chat? I know what Jeff Metcalf said. Do I agree with Jeff Metcalf? Jeff Metcalf is wilding out. He's saying some things that is just crazy. I would have played it for you guys, but because of YouTube algorithms, I can't find a censored version of Jeff Metcalf. He's wilding out on TikTok. You can listen to it over there. I haven't found a way to play it, or else I would have. I would have played it for you. The father calling him a watermelon felon didn't help matters. It doesn't help matters now. I think that it makes it really hard. He's saying a lot of things. In the beginning, he did say this wasn't about race, but he's clearly taken a racial turn. I know that he's grieving his son. I think that I know that it brings unwarranted attention to his family. I don't agree with these things, but at the end of the day, what I was talking about is him losing his son, who's a twin. So when he looks at his other son, it reminds him of Austin. It has to. And that's what I was speaking of. As far as everything that his father is saying, I don't agree with it. I just put out the news. And you guys do what you want with it, okay? So that's just what it is. If Mangione looks like Carmelo, I guarantee you he wouldn't be looked at as a hero. Both are wrong. Okay, fair enough. Trump and MAGA aren't conservatives. That's for you to debate, not me. Doreen, go watch this shit. Oh, mercy. Mercy. Okay, I love you guys. This was a lovely chat. Jerome, thank you for all of your support. I really, really appreciate you. Doc and Claude, thank you. Doc, I appreciate you. You guys hold me down. Damage, I appreciate you guys. I don't know where Kaiser is and Stewie go. I pray that they're okay. And for those of you that do support me, that do support conservative commentary, and the left, you guys are more than everybody's welcome to this nonpartisan chat. Okay, bring you non-biased news, but don't be mad at me for what's happening in the world. Don't be upset at me because I talk about Carmelo and say that, wow, you know, if you take somebody's life, regardless if you are white or black, you deserve to do the time. Don't be upset with me. I just speak the truth. Okay. All right, you guys. I will see you guys later today. I'm going to lay it down. We hit our 2-hour mark. Isaac, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, new friends. And I will see y'all later. Praying for the country. And I'm praying for all of you. Aries, I hear you. I see you in the chat. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.